Hello, everyone! How are we doing today? Hope you're all doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. Hope everyone had a good Tuesday. Tuesday's such a strange day for me because it's better than Monday, but it's still so early in the week that it's not, like, I can't even see the end in sight quite yet. What are we chatting about? Why am I catching strays? I'm so good at solving stuff. You guys don't even know. I'm the thinker. I'm the thunker. Uncalled for shots fired. But good to see you all. Good to see you all. Chat is trolling, saying that my Pookie Taria is dead. Well, about that. I don't know how to break this one to you, Gary, but I don't really think they're trolling. To be fair, I think something funky's going on with the body because it just up and vanished. However, he's probably still cooked. I hate to break it to you. But yeah, for anyone who somehow was not here last time and doesn't know what's going on, we found Taria, probably dead. And also we made up with our wife, which is more important. But let's, we'll do the tier list real quick. Let me get over to that. Here's where everyone's sitting at the moment. The wives have reunited at top of A. Yuki got some upward momentum. All that good stuff. Let's see. Let me get the game up here. We foreshadowed this since DRA started in the Mikado robot theory. Listen, I was onto something. I don't care what anyone says. Even if it was wrong, that was a good theory. I stand by that being a decent theory. 'Cause, like, girlie stayed up all night. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Let me get the game up real quick. I don't want to waste too much time since we have a whole Deadly Life and potentially whole trial to try and get through. So, I know I spent a lot of time yesterday crashing out over the divorce arc, and I don't regret that. That was important, but hopefully, because we don't have to deal with that today, we might be able to move a bit faster. Alright, we got Emma on the screen, which is probably gonna break our trend of, like, the character on the title card being relevant, since Emma has not been particularly relevant for a bit. So, I suppose that trend is no longer in effect. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Hold on, divorce arc. Oh, you don't know about the divorce arc? Okay, well, at the end of the 4th trial, basically, Sora and Yuruko had a falling out. And since they're wives and got married on stream, we were going through a divorce arc. It was a very will they, won't they kind of thing. And I gave chat the option if they wanted a divorce event to happen at the start of next stream if they hadn't made up by then. And that option won. But thankfully the wives made up and are stronger than ever, so no divorce. No divorce this time. Anyway. Yes, and Yuki got involved. A hot new bombshell has entered the villa. Alright, where were we? What were we trying to do? We checked the warehouse. Oh, Sora. Did you find him? No, he's not in this building at least. How does he leave this place in such a short time frame? maybe he really did jump off? I don't know about that, but there's some place I want you to go with me. The cathedral to renew our vows. Some place you want me to go with you? Just the two of us? No, with everyone. Aw, dang it. I've got my suspicions on a certain place. You got a lead? Well, this is the West Twin Tower, right? Why not check out the same room in the East area that has the same structure as this one? I knew it. When we all went to the broadcasting room on the other side, what was waiting for us was a door that wasn't there before, just like the West broadcasting room. Guess we gotta go in here, too. Yeah, if a door suddenly appears, that means something had happened inside, right? Then, here we go. Yeah. After we nodded at each other, I slowly gripped the door handle and pushed my way in, just like before. The first thing that greeted us was darkness and the smell of damp dust. But unlike before, we instinctively knew that something was different. Something was wrong. The same room with the structure flipped sideways, yet it felt so different. The reason was made clear as the despair-filled reality that lay in front of us was engraved forever in our eyes. Oh, yup, there he is. He's been here. I bet he's been here the whole time. It would have been so baller, though, if it was someone else. That's all I'm saying. If it was like a bait and switch. Taria? In the storage room of the East Broadcasting Room, there was the first person I tried to find for the last few days. Taruya laid there. Taruya? You're awake, right? You walked over here from the West Building, right? Please, tell me you're alive. Sora. Taruya silently sat down there, not moving an inch. He's bleeding from the mouth, which either means, like, poison or there's damage to his lungs, but it doesn't look like somebody stabbed him. So, I almost want to say it's poison, but we'll have to see. Either that or he got, like, punched in the mouth really hard for some reason. He didn't seem like he was breathing, nor did he have any pulse, and his skin had already lost its color. Yet, I still didn't want to believe it. Shinji would be the last one to leave us. That's what I thought to myself. The killing game's in its endgame. Every remaining friend we have will all survive and escape together. That's what I believed. Perhaps that's why I called out his name again, and perhaps, despite fully knowing he'd already left us. However... A corpse has been located. All remaining students, please gather in the storage room at the broadcasting room where the body was found. Okay, so that means the one we saw in the other tower was, like, probably a projection, right? Or, like, a canvas or something. It wasn't real, because when we all saw it, that would have triggered the announcement if it was actually his body. So, it's definitely been here the whole time. The body discovery announcement. Then... Damn it. The piercing announcement reawakened us to the harsh reality, with no ways of escaping from it. There was no way to run away from it now. The former ultimate merchant and member of the Kisaragi Foundation, Teruya Otori, friend or foe, has been killed. Just like that. Man. Hope Eclipse question mark? What does the question mark mean? What? How can this be? Teruya is dead. How on earth? You must be joking. Teruya? Dead? Teruya? The funny rainbow man died! After barely surviving his last killing game, only to get caught up in another one and die. Oh, the irony. Hold it in, Sora. He's not worth it. But it's fine. He's probably the culprit anyway. I don't think it's gonna be that easy. We're gonna get rid of him soon. What? What's this I hear? Me, the culprit. Why would you say such a horrible thing to me when you haven't even investigated yet? Mikado, the body discovery announcement. It was different from before. What's going on? What? Don't play dumb. It wasn't even the phrase he usually uses. And he's not even here at the crime scene. Should you really be concerned about something like that right now? What do you mean? And you're still in that state? Pathetic. My assumption was not wrong, I see. What are you talking about? Alright then. I acknowledge that Monocrow's presence is needed for our progress. That is precisely why I reinstalled him. Come over here, Monocrow. Welcome to the Neo World program. How can I be of assistance? Now's not the time for such unrelated comments. Hurry up and proceed with the usual investigation procedure. Identification. K003 Teruya_Otori. Value confirmed to be false. Commencing. Classroomtrial.guide. What is this? What language is he speaking? This isn't his usual self. He's acting more like a robot. Mikado, what did you do to Monocrow? What? I didn't do much. Just some simple modifications, if you will. He took him back to the Internet Explorer processor. Modifications? As if anyone cares about this useless bird. We aren't worse off without him, after all. Configuration successful. Starting guide. As a murder case has happened, each individual has the right to investigate for a certain time period. This guide will provide you with one Monocrow file per murder case, which will aid you in your investigation. If perceived that enough investigation has been accomplished, the class trial shall commence. As such, be wary of your given time while investigating. Wow, what interesting information, dear birdie. Or it would be if we weren't doing it for the 5th time. Now, leave the Monocrow file and get out of here. You're boring to begin with, and someone else might die from boredom if you continue to be here. We felt it from the body announcement, but the Monocrow now wasn't the Monocrow we knew from the rest of the killing game. Come to think of it, he did act weird even when we first arrived here. But Monocrow is also with Void and hosting the killing game we're trapped in. He doesn't deserve our pity. However, I do now realize that Monocrow probably already knew it would come to this back then. Now then, shall we get to investigating? Before you spout such nonsense about me being the culprit, I suggest that you should do your best to investigate first. We can do as much petty bickering as we want in the class trial, so please leave it be until then. Wait, don't you dare warp away! Mikado! It's useless. He's already gone. What's wrong, Yuruko? Well, about the class trial. I know it feels depressing to do it all over again, but we always used to do it in the Monocrows, right? But since Mikado destroyed the ship, where are we supposed to do it? I don't know. But the case has already happened, and the fact we have to do an investigation means a class trial is definitely going to happen. Iroha, do you know anything about this? What? Why would you ask me that? I guess you're right. How would you know anything about this when you're not even a void? Ha ha. Yeah, tell me about it. Where the class trial would be held? I have no idea. You're doing great, sweetie. That's not the only weird thing. The body discovery announcement's been made, and according to the rules, everyone should have gathered. But no Shobai. But there's no sign of Shobai. Huh? Yeah, where is that old guy? Is Shobai actually older, or is he, like, their age and just doesn't look it? I thought you'd get executed if you don't follow Monocrow's rules. He's got admin privileges, dude. Weird. Monocrow and Shobai. Ever since we arrived here, it feels like something isn't right. Guys, we should start our investigation. Yuki. I know we have all our suspicions and worries right now. But the most important thing is that our friend has been murdered now. Taruya's dead. Whatever we do, that result cannot change now. Yeah, virtual world or no, dying is dying. Someone has died, and the rest of us need to participate in the class trial in order to survive. You're right. This isn't the time to be worrying about that other stuff. Our lives are on the line after all. We can think about it when it's all over. Yeah, class trial first. We can take care of the rest later. This should probably be our final confrontation. For us, and for the Voids. Yeah, with everyone's strength combined, I'm sure we can find the one who killed Taruya. Before we start our investigation, could I have a moment with everyone? What's wrong, Sora? Well, I know this might feel a bit cringeworthy, but together, we are Danganronpa another. Yuruko, you investigate the body. Yuki, you gather testimony. I'll read the Monocrow file. And Iroha, you just be Iroha. Group handshake. But I was hoping we could do some sort of a team chant or something. Okay, I was apparently not far off. What? Oh, you mean like, let's go team, whatever. Or something like that? I told you this will probably be our final challenge. I thought it'd be nice if we did something special for our spirits facing the final class trial. She doesn't know there's a whole nother chapter. But you don't have to if it's too cringe. I don't know about being cringe. Feels more like something out of a young sports manga if you ask me. Sounds like something Big Bro might have come up with. Alright, I'm down. If Big Bro was here, he would have definitely been up for it. What about you, Yuruko? I didn't say I was against it, okay? Alright, fine. I'll do it. I mean, I did go and say we were in the same boat, and we were all more than just friends. You too, Iroha. What? No, I think I'll just... Why not? We all think of you as a partner. Wait, do you not think of us as your friends? Of course, I do. Not the glare. Fine, I'll do it. So you should. We're doing this in front of Taruya's corpse. Is everyone ready? This is cute though. This is fun. I do like this. Is everyone ready? It kind of feels embarrassing now that I'm actually about to do it. Yuki, you're gonna look like a real loser if you back out now. Sora, you're the one who suggested it. I hope you have a cool chant ready. Oh, the chant? There's nothing in particular I have in mind, though. What? You should have thought of one before pitching the idea to us. I guess 1, 2, 3, let's go should suffice? I don't care anymore. Just say whatever you feel like. Well then, everyone. This may be our final challenge. We're already going through our 5th trial with our lives on the line again. We may have safely gone through 4 of them. We've had many sacrifices throughout our lives in this place. Just like always, it won't be easy this time. Every trial has had its fair share of difficulties. But I believe we can make it through. Our goal is to survive the killing game. We don't know who the culprit is. It may be someone among us right now. But at least for this moment, I hope that we all survive as one. There are still lots of issues to be solved, but for now, let's all focus on the class trial and work to survive as one. Like we always did. Yeah, we can do this. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then let's go team. Got it? 1, 2. And then we exploded. Aw, they didn't even show the let's go team? Boo. Taruya. Though I did say a lot of stuff in high spirits with everyone. With Taruya's death, we lost the biggest lead we had. Granted, Yuruko, Yuki, and me making up and me regaining my memories is a definite plus. But Taruya's memory had the most crucial role for our escape plan out of here. No, I should save these thoughts for after the trial. That's right. Even though Taruya died without telling us about anything, at least everyone else is still alive. As long as we're alive, we aren't devoid of hope. There must be another way out. Let's focus on the class trial. Here we are, the Monocrow file. As per usual, I should check the Monocrow file first. The victim is Taruya Otori. Time of death unknown. The body was discovered in the storage room of the East Twin Tower. There's a cut 50 millimeters deep, 3 millimeters wide on his chest. There wasn't much blood loss. So is that why he, was coughing up blood? Cause of death and murder weapon is unknown. So he probably didn't die from the knife wound then. I still think poison's on the table. What if he, this is very akin to Sakura. So he could have, pulled a Sakura. There aren't any noteworthy external wounds other than the ones on the chest. Noteworthy external wounds. That's it? Feels like they're getting lazier with the descriptions ever since Shinji's trial. Cause of death, murder weapon, and time of death are all unknown. Not this again. But this time I know better. I know the fact they hid this info is itself another clue. That means this case won't be a straightforward one as well. Though there wasn't much to gain, I should further investigate with this file as a basis. Alright, let's look at the body then. Taruya. His face contained no expression, emotion, or anything. His eyes and his empty face have completely lost its focus, and were staring off into space. I won't let your death be in vain, Taruya. Like always, I decided to investigate the body first. However, other than the knife wound on his chest, there were no other noteworthy clues on him. Come to think of it, all the dead people so far had died in quite a fashion. Death by falling, freezing, being cut limb from limb, fire. Compared to that, Taria's body looked somewhat realistic, devoid of any extreme clues. Now this is a problem. By the looks of it, it seems obvious that the knife was the cause of death. But the fact the Monocrow file hid the cause of death is bugging me. Sora, what's wrong? What are you thinking about? Oh, so you're investigating the body. Yuruko, mind if I join you? I was going to see the state of the body as well. As off-putting as it is that we've become this calm about finding a dead body, we do need to investigate it after all. Of course, though it looks like Taria's body doesn't contain much evidence other than the knife wound. I see. He seems to have died in a more peaceful way than the others, at least. But that doesn't explain why the Monocrow file intentionally hid info from us. We're missing something here. Hold on, Sora. Step aside. Huh? What's wrong? This. Did you figure something out? Take a look at this, Sora. This is... The fingertips have turned blue. Wait, let's take off his shoes and socks as well. Isn't that a symptom of some poisons? I feel like it is. Help me out, Sora. If I clocked it being poisoned just from looking at the body, I gotta get some points for that. Oh, sure. Even his toes are the same. This, if my theory's correct... Yuruko, after a moment of silence, suddenly started to undress Taria. What? Yuruko, what are you... Yeah, you can't do that. Look, his back. When Yuruko tugged at Taria's shirt to reveal his back, I also saw something weird. What? What's up with these pink spots? Doesn't seem like he had them before his death. These are liver mortis, hypostasis, whatever you call them. Liver mortis? There's nothing surprising about just that. All the victims so far had them as well, after all. These naturally occur when you die. But the problem is the color. They usually have a brownish red color, just like dried blood. Then what do you think caused his to turn this color? I don't know the specifics myself, but his fingertips and toes were blue as well, right? With that info, it might be the case he died from lack of oxygen. Poison suffocates you, right? Some poisons do that. Really? How'd you know that? I heard it from a really drunk customer who worked as a doctor. He said this was caused by some sort of cyanosis. And if we assume it really is that, then he probably died from cyanide consumption! Poison! Who said it? I said it. Cyanide? That's poison, right? Yeah, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor, and this is all just stuff I heard from random places. But these signs don't show up unless the victim died a specific way. That's for sure. The chest wound was probably not his cause of death, then. What's with those sparkly eyes, Sora? You're so beautiful when you talk about poisoning and death. It's just that you look so incredible right now. I didn't know you were the smart type. Oh, she's whipped. She's down so bad for her wife. What? Are you telling me that I act dumb usually? I was quite the studying type, you know? I'm joking, Yuruko. That aside, we finally have some evidence regarding his cause of death thanks to you, Yuruko. Well, we gotta help each other out in this situation, right? Well then, I'll be over there investigating if you need me. See you later. Cyanide. I heard even a small quantity is enough to be fatal. I need to keep the possibility that Taria was poisoned in my mind. Oopsie. Uh-oh. Okay. We already did the file. Let's head out. As I suspected, there were no other clues to note in the East Broadcasting Room. The body was eventually found in the storage room of the East, but the culprit looks to have performed most of their acts in the West Broadcast Room. I should investigate that place as soon as possible. Now that I've looked at the body, I'll leave and return here if I have some time. Whoa, it's a lot of water. Ugh. Oh wait, is that supposed to be glass? Oh no, it's water because the sprinklers went off. Silly me. This is tiring. Just going from one tower to another takes an extreme amount of time. There's supposed to be a bridge connecting the two towers, but an unknown bug is causing it to be unstable, making us have to walk all the way around. This is bad. I wasted too much time already. I should start immediately and waste no time. Alright, let's see. Burnt paper, sprinklers, so much stuff. Okay, let's just start at the bottom and work our way up, I guess. It's the door we bust down to enter the locked room. It can only be locked from the inside, yet there was nobody in the room when we came here. It's like if there was a locked chest with a key that unlocks it inside. A locked room mystery. Oh god, it is Trigger Happy Havoc Chapter 4. We got the poison, we got the locked room mystery, we got suicide being my top theory right now. Huh? What's this? It looks like a lock put on the door. Must have fallen off when we busted it down. Interesting. Very interesting. The mechanism seems to be a lever-based one. The lever seems to be pretty large. I thought most door locks these days were either button-based or body recognition-based. Body recognition-based? What does that mean? With this kind of lock mechanism, the door has to be closed completely, and then the lever needs to be pulled from the inside. At least, if it was button-based, I would imagine it would be some gimmick to lock it from the outside. With this, I have no idea how the locked room mystery was created at all. And there's another thing that's bothering me. What is this tape? Some bits of tape were hanging down on one end of the lock's lever. Why would someone put tape on this? Was it always there, or was it some coincidence the tape just happened to be on the lever? Perhaps it's a clue related to this locked room mystery. Okay, we got burnt paper. Some half-burnt scrap of paper was laying around on the floor. Is this like... maybe it's a note from Taria that got burnt. What's up with this piece of paper? Like, how did it end up here? I don't think I saw this laying around before. When I picked it up, I could see it had already long cooled down, though it crumpled up due to the fire. Huh, there's some white powder on it. Okay, never mind. This might be... what the cyanide was in? Anthrax envelope. I found there was some white powder on one side. Maybe don't touch it. I mean, cyanide, I know it's bad if you ingest it. Is cyanide toxic if you touch it? Though I did call it white powder, its texture was rough and coarse enough to barely qualify as a powder. They even had a glimmer of shine in them, reflecting some of the light in the room. Oh, it's glass? Never mind. Still shouldn't be touching it. From the observations I made, I was able to deduce this was without a doubt glass powder. Yeah, still stay away from that. But why would glass powder be on... wait, before that. How was the paper burnt anyway? Although I'm not 100% positive, I have a feeling these must have also been used by the culprit. I should write this down. Okay. Sprinklers. Sorry, I got a glimpse of glass, even better. That's edible. Yummers. When I looked up, the now silent sprinklers that had poured water on us looking back at me. The broadcasting room's ceiling wasn't what you'd call high, but it was still high enough that I couldn't reach them with my hands. I wanted to take a closer look, but alas, it seemed impossible for someone of my height. Maybe it would be possible for Taria, but he's... Get Yuruko or Yuki to get on your shoulders. Unless we find a ladder or something, or a step ladder. I don't think there's much else to gain from looking at this. They must have sensed some sign of fire if they went off. That means there must be signs of a fire in this room, so I should keep an eye out for it. Like the burnt piece of paper? More stuff to investigate, I guess. Alright. Yuruko. Hi, wife. Yuruko, have you found something? Oh, Sora. Well, it's complicated. What do you mean it's complicated? Well, it's just... It happened so quickly, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around everything that happened. If it's okay with you, can you help me readdress everything that's gone down today? I feel like I need someone to talk to about this. You can talk to me about anything, wife. Sure. I also feel the need to go over what happened anyway. Thanks. About everyone's alibis, then. It all started with that video, with Taria on the ground and someone with a knife. If the culprit was the one inside that video, and was filming it live inside this room, it would help if we accounted for everyone's alibi during the time. Right? I was thinking the same, Yuruko. You're really thorough. Well, for me, I was in my room ever since you two left to get your keycards. I was about to leave and investigate near the hotel when I saw that video. Well, just like you said, both Yuki and I each went east and south to our hotels to get our keys. You can check Yuki's later, but here's my keycard and handbook as proof. I see. So the only ones left are Mikado, Iroha, and Shobai. I can vouch for Iroha. I don't know exactly where she was up until now, but I assume she was in the east area. When I left the hotel to head here, Iroha was heading in the same direction, most likely after seeing the same video. That leaves us with Mikado and Shobai. Yeah, about that. I already asked Mikado a while ago, but he wouldn't answer me. He wouldn't answer you? Who does that brat think he is? I guess we can't take that, I guess we can take that as him being the culprit, right? I don't know if we should confirm it that easily, but yeah, I'm also pretty sure he's the culprit this time. Wrong, no, loud incorrect buzzer. We haven't seen him these past few days after all. Girl, you haven't seen Shobai the past few days either. You haven't seen anybody the past few days other than, like, maybe each other. We don't have a way of checking on Shobai since he's gone missing. He's gotta show up for the trial, right? Surely. Unless he just, like, admined out of existence, but... But it's at least a shortened list of our suspects. Well, we gotta talk about it more in the trial, I guess. But thanks. Everything feels much more organized thanks to you. To summarize what we talked about, when the video was broadcasted, I was in the west area, Yuki in the south, and Yuruko and Iroha were in the east area. Shobai and Mikado's whereabouts then are unknown, so these are the alibis as we know. Is it me, or is it like there's evidence already pointing to a certain someone? I should write this down for now and start about it more. Do you mean talk about it more? With the others once the trial starts. Just like Yuruko said. Oh, shit. There we go. Okay. Projector. It's a pretty old-fashioned projector. One you have to insert an actual film reel to play it. Never thought I'd see one of these being used ever since digital projectors came out. The evolution of, like, cinematic technology, by the way, so fascinating. I took a film course in my last year of college because, you know, I had the spare credits and decided to take a fun elective because I like movies, and we learned about the history of that stuff. It's so interesting. But anyway. I remember it clear as day. A video reminiscent of the pits of hell. Just thinking about it makes me shiver. Date's Inferno type beat. Although it's deactivated now, the culprit must have activated this projector for some purpose. Huh? There's something on the end of the film. What is this? I don't think it's just sand or dust. Sora, so you came here as well. How's the investigation going? This is kind of funny considering we just talked to her. Oh, Yuruko, perfect timing. Have you seen this? What is this? Some sort of powder? Sora, don't tell me you've been, yep, I'm high on crack. I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm high on crack. There was this yellow powder thing on the film when I came here. Do you know what it is? Hold on, let me have a sniff at it. Oh god. Sneef? Ew, gross. What's with that smell? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Wait, isn't this a bit burned as well? Really? I guess it does look a bit scorched. And does it really smell that bad? Let me try it. Is this rotten garlic or something? Does film actually smell that bad if you burn it? I mean, I wouldn't know, but... Yuruko, what's wrong? Sora, when we first busted in here, did you hear or see any signs of a fire? Fire? Come to think of it, I do recall hearing some sputter and cracking for a moment. Is it like a timer? So they put that powder at the end of the film strip, so when it got to that point in the projector, maybe it ignited, and that's what caused the sprinklers to go off, mayhaps? Wait, the sprinklers. That would mean a fire did break out here. How else would the sprinklers have been activated? Huh, I see. Sora, the dust on the film, it may be phosphorus. Phosphorus? Mm-hmm. More specifically, yellow phosphorus. Isn't that... there's a name for that. That's not sulfur, is it? The evidence of fire within the sprinklers, the scorches, and the smell of rotten garlic, but sulfur smells more like rotten egg. At least when I smelled it, but I guess you could compare it to garlic as well. It must be yellow phosphorus. It's like the flammable chemical substance after all. I'm not much of a scientist, so please enlighten me on this. How is the fire and phosphorus related in any way? White phosphorus can create fire even from the smallest of friction. Its burning point is extremely low, lower than most room temperatures. And Sora, I suggest not touching it anymore. We should stay away from it. It's apparently quite toxic. Do you mean yellow phosphorus? 'Cause you said white phosphorus. So the culprit used this white phosphorus dust film to create a fire and activate the sprinklers, right? I'm gonna assume it's a translation error and they're talking about the same substance. That seems to be the case. You don't look happy with this conclusion. Did we miss something? No, our theory should be correct. The problem is, who and why did they cause a fire? And where did they get their hands on phosphorus? I mean, maybe it was in the mart? Or like, where'd you get phosphorus? Would it be in like the infirmary? Because we had a med kit. I'm not entirely sure. And even if yellow phosphorus is really flammable, you still need to do something to cause a fire, and we didn't see anyone there. Well, that's easy to explain. They just put it on the film strip, and they said if a little bit of friction causes it to ignite, if the film strip gets wheeled through the projector, so when the phosphorus gets into that wheel, boom, you've got your friction, boom, you've got your fire. That's true. We only heard a sputter of fire and then saw the sprinklers activate. Let's just keep this in mind for now. It seems certain that the culprit did use this powder to cause the fire. Yeah, I guess we gotta investigate some more. In what way did the culprit use phosphorus to cause the fire? The fact they put effort into putting it on the film is also suspicious. That's suspicious. That's weird. Alright. We did that, we did that. Let's do the window. Waving through a window. As previously established, one of the windows was broken. Now that is quite a drop. I imagine I'd die if I fall from one. But I still can't give up on the possibility. Tower of Babel. While not as tall as this building, that tower was pretty dang high as well. After surviving a fall like that, I don't know how much laws of physics apply to this virtual world. Don't you dare try it out yourself, Sora. Ugh, you scared me. You shouldn't sneak up on people like that. I tested it myself just now. I tossed some soda cans I took from our tea party in your room, and they all fell down and were crushed. You can see them hit the ground from this height? Of course I can't. Hence why I ran down to the first floor to check them out myself. I saw it with my own eyes. Soda spilled everywhere on the road. Cans obliterated. I thought it'd be easy to determine the results for beverages. Oh, so you went that far for that. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Well, with our lives at stake, we should take care of every little suspicion if it's possible. And, I felt bad for shouting at you about the window back then, and thought I should take responsibility and check it out myself. That's what I thought, anyway. How diligent of you. Seeing your motivation makes me want to work harder as well. Take your time, alright? We're not competing after all. Since Yuki tested it out himself, I guess we've confirmed something. We can eliminate the possibility of someone escaping through the window from this locked room mystery, as they would just plummet to their doom. Unless they could use magic and fly like Mikado, but I guess they did say, is that rule still intact? Hold on. Then why is the window broken anyway? I'm positive there's some reason for it. Well, it looks like they threw something out the window. Oh shit. Almost. Let me look at my handbook again. Is the rule about Mikado... Shit. Can't press the right buttons. Is the rule about Mikado using magic still intact? Ba-deep-ba-doop-boop. It's one of the last rules, right? That rule is not intact. So, hypothetically, Mikado could still use magic, if we're going by that logic still. I don't think it's Mikado, because the fact they're, like, pointing out how suspicious he is kind of circles it back around to it's probably not him. But I'm not, like, clearing of suspicion either. Lights, camera, action. The camera that was always here in the broadcasting room. There's multiple of the same model. The culprit used one of these cameras to broadcast that weird video. How was the culprit able to broadcast the video? Huh? There's some sounds coming out of the monitor. Huh? Come again? Oh, I was just passing by and I heard some sounds come out of the monitor. But didn't this monitor originally show footage of the city? When I saw the monitor next to the camera, the footage indeed only showed the West Broadcasting Room. Hold on, Yuki. What? On closer inspection, I found there existed an interface where we were given the option to choose which channel to show, just like a TV. So, when I changed the channel from internal to external... Oh, the city footage! I guess it's back to normal? I see. The monitor isn't here just to receive security camera footage. With the camera next to it, it can actually send and receive between every monitor in the city. So then, that video we saw... Yeah, it was most likely filmed and broadcasted by the culprit using this. Wait, why is this being shown live? What do you mean? I mean, we just saw footage of you in this room through the monitor. Since nobody changed the controls since the culprit messed with them, I'd assume they were kept the same since. Did they like do a delay on the footage? So the video we saw was being shown live to us. Huh, you're right. Yeah, I don't see any recording functions in the machine. That probably confirms it. This is an important piece of evidence. We can check out everyone's alibis during the broadcast to find the culprit. I thought it could have been a pre-recorded video, but this should be sufficient proof it was indeed live footage, which means I should probably talk to everyone about their alibis. Okay, well, if there's a truth bullet outright saying it's live, I can't really refute that. Wait, why is there a... Oh, it just means I haven't found it yet. Alibi list, no. Broadcasting room, it's possible. Probably use this feature. Looks like the video footage is recorded. It cannot do pre-recorded footage. Okay. Well, if the truth bullet outright says it, then refutation is off the table. Cloth. What's this? Some dirty, stained cloth was laying in the corner of the room. It looked to be made from some very soft, thick material. When I touched it, I was surprised to find it was soaked to the brim, but I quickly realized it had soaked in water from the sprinklers. I don't recall seeing any cloth like this from the video that the culprit had broadcasted. Wait, I think I saw cloth like this stored inside the broadcasting room's storage room. I assume this cloth was used as props in the performing arts business. I wonder if the culprit took them out of the storage room. Why did they even need all this? The possible reasons I can think of for now is getting rid of the blood stains using the fact it was dirty in the first place. That's as far as I can think for now. I guess I gotta discuss it with everyone. Ding dong, bing bong, is it trial time? Oh no, we're still investigating. Okay. After wrapping up the broadcast room investigation, I headed to the stairs located nearby. And then, I arrived in front of the door to the connecting bridge. I had to run all the way around from the east broadcasting room to the west just to investigate Taria's body. If we only had access to this bridge, I wouldn't have had to travel that far. But that being said, this bridge, the time I almost fell down, something about it feels off to me. Is it really just a bug? Or is it... There you are, Sora. Eee! Get away, creep! Ouch! No, hold on. Why would you hit someone in the face like that as soon as you see them? Why would you sneak up on somebody like that? Creep. Well, I'm also doing my earnest best to investigate, and it just so happens that I have a question for you. No. Please don't leave me like that. Believe me, I want to find the culprit as much as you do. As if. Although I guess running away from a question like that would make me look suspicious. Very well. Just make it quick. Oh, how splendid! Well, you are aware I wasn't there when this all occurred, yes? I would like to hear exactly what went down. Sounds like you really don't need me specifically to answer that. There were 3 people at the scene other than me, you know? And unfortunately, I've already been ignored by every last one of them. Please, Sora, you're my last hope. I'll only give you a quick summary of what happened. I see. So that's what happened. This is one of my favorite Mikado sprites. I love the, like, squinting, just deadpan, like, exasperated look. It's so funny to me. Can I leave now? I don't want to waste a single more second dealing with you. I have something I need to check before. And there it is. We've lost all our time. The investigation has now concluded. We will soon commence the class trial. All students must immediately gather at the map_twin building_west 223 lobby. Why are you all calling me Narnie? Is that like Narnia? I don't understand that one, I gotta admit. Oh dear, it seems our time is up. How unfortunate. My dear Sora, it seems I've finally awakened to the power to read minds. And your mind is telling me, did I seriously waste my precious time dealing with this trash of a person? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Ouch! By the way, Mikado, do you know where we're actually supposed to go? What Monocrow just said didn't click with me. Oh, that I definitely know. My apologies for Monocrow's current confusing state. West Building, first floor lobby is our destination. Lucky you, it's not that far from here. Come now, follow me. You'll be happy to be there, dancing through life. Where are we? Splendid, you're all here. Now let us all head toward the class trial grounds. Bro, the elevator is gonna be so empty. What are you talking about? This is the Twin Tower. What do you mean the trial grounds? Why did Monocrow even gather us here? That's because the trial ground is located in the basement floor of this very building. What? So that's where we're going? But I didn't see any buttons leading to the basement floor when I last used that elevator. But that's how it is now. Perhaps someone suddenly constructed it because the Monocruise was destroyed. Constructed it? Mikado, did you? Now, let's put aside any unnecessary details. I mean, who cares about where we hold the trial? We must find and exterminate the filthy culprit who violently murdered Taria. Everyone, we must go onwards. Wait, Mikado, what do you mean, everyone? I was about to ask you a while ago, but where the heck is Shobai? Huh? Oh, Shobai. Shobai, unfortunately, will not be participating in the class trial. What? How's that even fair? Not participating? How come he... Life is a continuous process of such unbelievable events, wouldn't you say? Now, let us not dwell on the people that aren't even here. Monocrow is waiting for us after all. Mikado, wait. Yeah, that's like not fair though. Did he get out? Is he like out of the simulation entirely? Wait, this is exactly the same place as the one underneath the Monocruise. Shobai got banned. Mikado, you've got some explaining to do. Why is Shobai not participating in the trial? I've heard from Sora that he suddenly disappeared into thin air. Did something happen to him? Why are you so desperate to find him? He wasn't cooperative to you anyway, was he? You're all better off without him. Or are you not confident in your ability to find the culprit without him? Who says we can't find the culprit without him? We already know it's you. Yoruko. Huh? What, Sora? Talking to him is a waste of our time. It's better off we ignore him altogether. Isn't the social norm to whisper such words instead of saying it in front of the person in question? You're right. And like Mikado said, we're probably better off without Shobai. I mean, that's one less suspect, I guess. Though I am curious about what happened to him. We need to focus on the trial that's in front of us right now. Right. We might get executed if we're not careful. If we die, we'd be making all the deaths we've been through be in vain. The class trial is now open. All survivors must take the elevator down to the trial grounds. It's finally gonna start. Yeah. Like it or not, we need to do this. So we better give it our all out there. Let's go. The 5th class trial. 6 survivors. 5 if we exclude the now gone Shobai. So little people, yet the trial continues without any regard to it. I'd better prepare myself as well. Okay, we get the bridge. Alright. Now is the moment when we gotta put our thinking caps on, right? My prevailing theory is still kind of that it's Taria, but I don't know if they'd go for the double game end. That's tough. I gotta think. I'm trying to put all the pieces together, you know. Because I gotta pick a second suspect. And I'm not sure who it is. I don't think it's Mikado, right? Because they're making it so, like, obviously pointing to him that I don't think it's him. Which leaves... And if Shobai's not here, I feel like he can't count at all. He probably would have been my second pick, but since he's not here, I kind of have to take him off the list. So that leaves us with Yuruko, Iroha, and Yuki. Now. I know this isn't like the most... This is a strategy that has failed me in the past by saying just I don't think a character would do it based on their characterization. But I don't think Yuruko would do it. I feel like she'd tell us. I can't see it being Yuruko. And by that extension, I can't see it being Yuki. So like, kind of by process of elimination, my second guess has to be Iroha. And I could kind of see it being her just from the perspective of like, I know I said avoid getting a redemption arc would be cool, and I think it would. But I could also see this being like the end of her character arc in that way. Maybe if she killed to protect people? I don't know. Iroha's an enigma because she's been such a mostly nothing character so far. Like, Void, her being a member of Void is kind of the only thing she has going for her right now. And I can't tell if that's because they want to give her, like, a redemption arc later, or if it's because, like, she's gonna have a lot of relevance as a culprit, you know? So, like, I'm literally, like, 50-50 on it being Iroha. In the sense that I could totally see it not being her, because I think the idea of a Void redemption arc is cool. But I could also see it being her as, like, a tragic end. Her character needs something, is basically what I'm trying to get at, right? She has not done much of anything. So I don't know if that something is going to be a survivor redemption arc, or it's going to be, like, a tragic culprit arc. I could see it being either. But this is a very long-winded way of saying, I guess by process of elimination, she's my other suspect. So, if you're gonna make me lock it in, I'm gonna say Taruya, Sacrifice, Self-Endy, or Iroha, just because I literally don't think it can be anybody else from a narrative perspective. So there you go. There are my guesses. I really need a win, man. I have not gotten a win in a while. I guess my last win was Shinji as a victim, but the Twins Tower elevator heading to the trial grounds looked exactly like the one at the Monocrow. But no one acknowledged that bizarre similarity, as there was only heavy silence among us. The silence could be because of the fact there was so little left of us. I mean, yeah, look at that. But there was there was a sense of solemnness that we could all feel from the atmosphere. Granted, no one really talked during this period, but this time it felt like we couldn't talk even if we wanted to. After what felt like hours passed by, the elevator arrived at the trial grounds with the usual loud creak. What's up with the expensive-looking curtains? Now this is what I call a good rework. Taria would have loved these culprits. Culprits? Jesus Christ. I have murder on the mind. Taria would have loved these curtains. He was pretty fond of rainbows after all. But the curtains aren't rainbows. I mean, they're multicolored, but that's not a rainbow, Mikado. Welcome. Please move to your assigned seat. It will be the one with your name listed on it. He isn't even looking in the right direction. Please move to the seat with your name on it. Let's move. Oh, what the? Was this place always so spacious? We've got more death portraits than we've got survivors. And at least one of us will become a portrait after this is over. Let's make sure to keep that number at 1. Oh, what a nice atmosphere we have here. This grandiose feeling. Don't you all get the feeling we're in the end game now? It's enough to make my identified seat code and avatar match. Class trial system now booting. Beep beep ba-doop beep 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 ba-doop beep. Boot successful. Starting debug mode. Debug mode access successful. The class trial will now commence. The class trial is about to start. It's already the 5th time. Tons of people have died, and many have lost their lives through the class trial. Teruya, this case's victim, a member of the Kisaragi Foundation, and the classmate of Akane Taira. But she doesn't know anything about the Foundation. What was he trying to do as the representative of the Kisaragi Foundation? What info did he have for us? Unfortunately for us, he took that information to his grave, and we never got to know his true intentions. The only thing left for us to do is find his killer, and make sure his death won't be in vain. That's fucked up, man. Look at that! So much red. Putting aside the hundreds of problems we had to deal with to escape this place, we now had to set our first priority to the class trial. A trial of life or death. A lie of life or death. Is Shobai's portrait gonna be blue still, or like gray? The betrayal of life or death. Oh my god, it is actually gray! I was literally just making a shitter guess. That's so funny. The explanation of life or death. The excuse of life or death. God, Nikkei's portrait being red kinda hurts, I'm not gonna lie. He looks so good in that art, though. The trust of life or death. There are so many people alive on this slide. Life or death. The class trial. Everything is blue. His pills, his hands, his jeans. And now I'm so devoid of color, he don't know what it means. I don't think I have any new skills. I mean, like... And I don't have the points to equip. I have everything else equipped, so... It's okay, we don't need money. We're fine. Don't need no money. I'm sorry, I don't want the rules on my bullets. I feel like none of this actually points to anyone in particular. It's all just gonna be... murder method stuff. 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 bullets is not a ton. In fact, it's remarkably few. I'm kind of holding this, I'm probably kind of, holding this case to slightly higher expectations than I probably should, because the 5th trial of Danganronpa 2 is, like, one of the best trials ever. It's probably the best one in the franchise, if we're being honest. At least, it's definitely a top contender. So, it's got big shoes to fill, I'll just say that. Just want to make sure, you know, you can check bullets during non-stop debates, right? I know you can. Is it shift? I don't remember the control to do it, honestly, but I've never needed to check them during non-stop debates, because I remember what they all say, but admittedly, I don't know the keybind to do so. Anyway. Yep, let's hop into the class trial. I will say, the worst part about this being a fan game is the trials are not dubbed. First, let me give a basic explanation of the class trial. And I know there is a dub, but they only went up to chapter 2, so. The results of this class trial will be decided by your votes. Is that dub still in production? Does anybody know, like, what their status is at? Because I do hope they keep going with that. It was quite good. If you choose the correct blackened, only they will receive punishment. But if you vote the wrong person... Sorry, I'm looking at the death portraits. What is that a Korean symbol? That I don't know. It looks like a backwards F, but it could also be like a Korean character. If anybody knows what Nikkei's portrait means, please let me know. Then everyone else besides the blackened will be punished, and the blackened that has fooled everyone will graduate from this school trip. Honestly, I'm still not used to this new version of Monocrow. With Shobai not participating, there's only 5 of us here. And someone among us here has murdered Taria. We need to find the culprit and clear this class trial. If we don't, there's no future waiting for us. It means LOL? Oh, the disrespect. That's so disrespectful. Mikado. Damn. If we put our heads together, we can do this. Just like we've always done. Now then, please start the discussion. I mean, is there any need to? We already know who the culprit is. What? We do? Mikado Shinoji, you're the only possible suspect in this case. Oh? Cutting right to the chase, are we? Well, I've been basically called the killer every trial so far, so this doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Has he? I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a point we seriously accused him other than maybe the first trial, and then we added the rule that he can't use magic, and then I don't think he was ever seriously considered after that, but I could be misremembering. But to suspect me without any real evidence? I thought we already learned time and time again we need to discuss things thoroughly before pointing fingers. Too bad, because I've got evidence this time. While the murder was happening, everyone except you and Shobai were together, you see? That's right. Hence, the only suspects were Shobai and you, Mikado. But according to you, Shobai's not participating in the trial. So, everyone except me has alibis. But if we follow that logic, Sora's a possible suspect as well, no? Wait, what? Are you trying to make fun of us? We just told you that Sora was with us the whole time. But was she really with you the whole time? What is Taru's? Does it have little hearts? What? Sure, I wasn't there when you found the body, and I only arrived at the crime scene long after the body discovery. Oh, he gave him the little, like, you know, the little mask eye. That's cutesy. Announcement. That I admit. But every one of you were split apart until you saw that video and decided to head to the broadcasting room. What? How did you know that vid? Sora, Yuruko, and Yuki, who were all in Sora's room, had each split up. They gave him a little clown face. That's crazy. And while they were alone, the mysterious video was broadcasted on every monitor in Higa City. After witnessing such horror, you each guessed the room in the video to be the West Broadcasting Room and headed there. In other words, the time you were together was only after you gathered at the Twin Towers. How do you know about all those details? I heard it directly from Sora. Isn't that right, dear? Mikado's voice, by the way, so much fun to do. Like, that's one of my favorite voices. Well, I was unfortunate enough not to arrive at the crime scene on time to learn about the case. I thought to myself, don't I have the right to at least know what happened? So you say you didn't know? The nerve of telling such lies. You're the culprit, and we all know it. I won't be so sure of that, Yuruko. More importantly, I have concrete evidence for why I'm suspecting Sora. Would you care for a duel? Alright, let's party. Let me preface this by saying I'm not doing this out of spite, Sora. By all means, I would have loved to take everything cautiously, step by step, to find the culprit. But when Yuruko starts off a trial by suspecting me of all people, I've got no choice but to rebuttal. Wouldn't you agree? But can you even fight against my rebuttal, I wonder? I know the control... Actually, I could use a refresher on the controls. Yes, okay, Z to fire. How do I... Okay, shift and S. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Monocrow file, alibi list, bridge, sprinkles Yuruko's account. Alright, what's he gonna say? When the video was being broadcasted, everyone was alone. In other words, the video could have been anyone. Everyone's alibi is empty. That's not true. We gotta use the alibi list. Fuck, I can't aim. Alright, we're gonna equip the alibi list. What's the point in that? I'm obviously not the culprit. Nobody has an alibi. How does that make me specifically the prime suspect? Have you also realized why I suspect you? You told me yourself. Yuki went north, Yuruko east, and yet the broadcasting room was showing the video, so those two. Sora, you stayed. Something, something. From my knowledge, Twin Towers, am I wrong? Rah, 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 rah. Ah! Ah! There we go. 100, baby! We're going for A. So let me get this straight, Mikado. Immediately after Yuki and Yuruko left the West area, I headed straight to the broadcasting room to film that video? Precisely. I'll give credit where credit's due. Your logic is indeed sound. I did have the time and resources to broadcast that video. Sora, what are you saying? However, that also applies to you, doesn't it? Between the two of us, I'd say you're the one with the more suspicious alibi. You're trying to make it sound like our alibis don't matter and we're all suspects. But at least 4 of us can prove we were in the locations we said were in our alibis. However, not a single person even saw or knew where you were during the incident. From our perspective, Mikado, you have 0 concrete info about your alibi. To use your own words, aren't you in the perfect condition to commit the crime? Sora's right. Both Iruko and I can prove we were in the east and south areas respectively through our keycard histories. Iroha proved her alibi by meeting up with Iruko. That's right. I was running toward the west area after watching the broadcast when I met Iruko. Yeah, that much I'm sure of. Can you prove you were in some other place when the video was being broadcasted? More importantly, even the people in the south and east areas managed to arrive at the crime scene on time. Yet you arrived way after the announcement was made. What made you so busy, I wonder? Ooh, clock him. Clock his ass. One sec, I gotta get something from across the room. Okay. Oh, he doesn't look upset, though. As you've established, our alibis are not concrete. I might have easily committed this murder, as I was readily in the west area. But if we go by that logic, you, whose alibi is non-existent, are pretty suspicious as well. Actually, I'd say you'd be in the best position to murder than any of us. You're most absolutely right. Then let's not forget about this crucial information. What? Are you for real now? You went all in saying Sora's the culprit, and you think you can get out scot-free? I mean, didn't I say from the start? I wanted to find the culprit step by step, from one clue to another. But I had no choice but to present my rebuttal when you accused me out of murder, out of nowhere. What do you mean, out of nowhere? I said that because you are the culprit. Iruko. Huh? What's up, Sora? Let's stop that train of thought for now. I'm not trying to cover for Mikado, but there are other discussions that need to be held right now. I also do think Mikado is suspicious, but there's no need to rush things. We can point fingers after we discuss everything thoroughly, right? I guess you're right. Sorry, Sora. Wait, I basically said the same thing. Why listen to her, but not me? Because she's my wife, Mikado. Hey, Mikado, shut the fuck up. Oh. I mean, yeah, that's basically what he said. Would you mind just shutting up and stop pretending that you're helping? You didn't even participate in the other class trial discussions. Trying to be active in this trial only makes you all the more suspicious, you know? Oh, wait, no, you've got it all wrong. I always tried my best in trials. It's just that every time I spoke, I was rudely ignored by everyone. I mean, he's not wrong about that, but whatever. How about we start talking about the case more in depth? About the case, then? Where should we start? Let's hold the question of who's the culprit for now. Try to reimagine how the case went step by step. So, the summarization of the case. I see. I'll do my best to cooperate. How the hell are you going to help at all? You weren't even there when it all happened. But I at least heard the basics of what happened from Sora. Iruko, we all agreed that Mikado is unbearable, but for this case only, how about we give him a chance to talk? Above all, we only have 5 participants for this trial. With that low of a number, every word spoken from every person here should count. Well, if you say so, my beautiful, glorious wife, then all right. That's the canon line. I didn't change it at all. So it's agreed I can speak freely then? Well then. First and foremost, I think we can all agree this case started with the broadcast. He's right. The video of a mysterious someone approaching the fainted Taria with a knife in the West Broadcasting Room. Let's talk about the video that started it all. Nah, I got this. Projector, window, Iroha, file, cameras. The video was broadcasted around 7 p.m. As previously established, most of us have alibis during this time period. Sora's in the west, Yuki in the east. Shit. Oh, I was in the north area, in case you were curious. Immediately after watching that video, everyone except Mikado went straight to the top floor of the West Twin Tower, but the door was locked and so none of us were able to enter. We eventually broke the door down and entered the room. But after the sprinkler incident, Taria was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, and we entered the East Broadcasting Room to search for him. We found the door was locked, Taria was in there, being stabbed to death. It was like the dead corpse moved on its own. But he wasn't stabbed to death. Is Iroha's account the one about poison? I think it was. So we gotta go to the end. Oh shit, too far. Oh shit, fuck! I didn't mean to shoot. Oh no, my score! No! Oh god, I could have had a perfect score. It's fine, we're still on track, we're still on track. That's still an A. Hold on, Yuki. Taria wasn't stabbed to death. Huh? But there was a stab wound on his chest. The Monocrow file didn't describe any other injuries, and I checked it out myself. Of course there are no other injuries. It's because he died by poisoning. What? The tip of Taria's fingers and toes had turned blue. There were also pinkish spots near his thighs and back. These are telltale signs of poisoning. To be precise, cyanide poisoning at that. Oh my. You could tell that just from those marks? That's amazing, Sora. It wasn't me. It was Iroha. It was my beautiful wife. I don't know it that well myself. It's not like I actually studied medicine. I just heard it from some crazy drunk doctor that wandered into our joint once. I have my fair share of medical knowledge, and I agree with your observations. How much you guys want to bet Mikado's fair share of medical knowledge was just like, he's seen every episode of House MD or something? Cyanide is a chemical suffocant, so to speak. It's a poison that prevents any living being from breathing properly. From the cyanosis to the pink spots, they're all signs of oxygen depletion. Wonderful work, Iroha. Coming from you, even a compliment sounds disgusting. Wait, if Taria was poisoned to death, what, then how come that video showed someone holding a knife? Or was that something else? Well, as I said before, there were knife wounds on his chest. Perhaps the culprit poisoned Taria, then created a stab wound on the dead corpse? If Shobai was here, he would have been able to confirm if that knife wound was made before or after Taria was killed. Now, before we get into that, there's a whole other riddle that needs to be solved. Poisoning is quite an inconspicuous method of murder. Yet, the killer announced their crimes knowingly, using the broadcasting room. When you think about why you would choose to poison someone to get rid of them, the killer's little talent show becomes a bit contradictory. Wouldn't you agree? Mikado spent the entire game itching for the case where everyone thinks it's lupus. That's hilarious. Huh, you got a point. It's never lupus, it's never lupus. It's as if they were saying, come and stop me if you can. Okay, here's my theory. Maybe it was the culprit's intention all along to gather us at the West Broadcasting Room. What do you mean? Recall that the West Broadcasting Room was locked from the inside. But what if the killer wanted to emphasize specifically that face to everyone by having a broadcast be sent to the whole island? And if we think about it that way, holding a knife is a much stronger impact than just holding some poison, right? Then what would be the point of creating a locked room and telling everyone about it? When we broke down the lock and entered the broadcasting room, we didn't see anyone inside, right? What? But that doesn't make sense! How could there be a locked room if there was nobody inside? Then that means... It seems the culprit laid out this incredible locked room mystery for us to solve. They say every good mystery fiction almost always features one. Even Emma used it back then, remember? The broadcast wasn't the main show. It was just a small teaser to lure everyone to the crime scene. Before we talk about who did it, it seems we need to solve this locked room mystery. A locked room mystery. A room that can only be locked from the inside. And only the dead victim was inside when we unlocked it, sorry. The mysterious person inside the video had somehow vanished from the locked west broadcasting room. And now, we have to put our heads together to figure out how that happened. Nope, I got it, don't you worry. This really is an empty trial room. Cameras, files, sprinklers, paper, lock. When we gathered in front of the West Broadcasting Room's entrance, was the culprit not already inside the broadcasting room? That seems to be the case. But there was barely any time for that. How'd they lock the room and escape during that short a time period? Oh, I know. Oh god, Iroha, please. What we saw wasn't live footage. It was just recorded beforehand. No, I don't think so. That was definitely live footage. When the video was being broadcasted, someone was definitely inside the broadcasting room. Then doesn't that leave us with Mikado as the only suspect? Me? That's outrageous. Didn't I just say when the video was being broadcasted, everyone was acting alone? Okay, it's Iroha's comment about it not being live. Shoot. Give me that sweet, sweet 100. Beautiful work. No, Iroha. That video has to be live. During our investigation, we confirmed the broadcasting room can only transmit live footage. Is that so? It's not really a surveillance camera, you see. It has a database. It would actually be able to record and store videos, but unfortunately our broadcasting room lacks any of it. That means, when the video was being broadcasted, at that moment, someone was in the West Broadcasting Room. Maybe I'm, reading too much into it. But, that's kind of a weird reaction from Iroha, right? At least a little. What is it, Iroha? Yeah, okay, we're gonna press on this. You've been staring at me for quite a while now. Eee! Is there something you have to say? No. Girl. Why are you being so suspicious? What do you have to say for yourself? If there's something you want to say, then you should feel free to say it, Iroha. This is a class trial, after all. We can only proceed if we each share our thoughts. Well, the thing is, when you first arrived on the top floor of the West Twin Tower, there wasn't anyone there, right? Yeah, there wasn't anyone there when I arrived. But what about that? Then, couldn't you have, locked and left the room? Then pretended you just arrived there? You guys need attention. Why? What do you even need attention for? Feed us? You're like little dogs, like yapping at the door. What? Try and say that again, Iroha. Don't accuse my wife. No. I'm not trying to accuse her. I just, thought it might be possible. So, you're basically trying to say Sora's the culprit. No, I didn't say that. What do you mean you didn't? The person in the video was Sora. That's what you're trying to say, aren't you? Now that was a surprising remark, considering it came from Iroha of all people. As I said before, I completely agree with Iroha. You said you were all together after you gathered at the top floor of the west building. That means it's entirely possible for Sora to do the deed, create the locked room mystery, and then regroup with everyone. Let's not forget, Sora was also conveniently in the west area when the crime happened. So you're gonna fight in pairs, huh? Well, bring it on then. I will stand with my wife. I, for one, regrouped with everyone. We don't know a thing about what you did or where you were during the murder. Do you think you have the right to suspect me? Might I remind you, as I was in the north area, I didn't have enough time to do anything. And how are you going to prove that? Yuki and Yoruko's alibis can be proven with the keycard histories. Iroha was seen by Yoruko. Even if you say you were in the north area, it means nothing if you have no witness to prove it. Well, that I have nothing to say. How unfortunate it is that there's nothing that can prove my alibi, isn't it? Mikado, you've been trying to pin the murder on Sora ever since the trial started. Do you think this is very unlike you? Never once did you suspect a Never once did you suspect a specific individual. Are you perhaps panicking? You took the words right out of my mouth, Yuki. Huh? You're the ones who aren't acting like yourselves. Answer me. Excuse me. What happened between these two trials that made you believe Sora is a saint who's never lied once in her life? The last 4 trials were all carried on through logical deduction and through discussions, without personal feelings, that is. I won't say I'm not a suspect, but there's no real proof Sora's innocent as well. That's... Have you all forgotten? Once you rely on personal feelings, they will eventually cloud your judgment, preventing us from finding the real culprit. All I want to say is that anyone can be a culprit. I know how much you all hate me, but I would much prefer if you didn't look at me with jaundiced eyes. But Sora would never... Yoruko, calm down. As much as I hate to admit it, he's right that my alibi isn't perfect. Sora! It's alright. The truth will eventually reveal itself. Isn't that right, Mikado? Of course. I apologize for derailing our discussion with my short pep talk. You gonna call it a pep talk? Alright, man. Let us continue our talk about the locked room mystery. So, Iroha just suspected Sora of locking the broadcasting room herself, pretending she just arrived there. But that isn't as easy as it sounds. Nuh-uh. The door to my room locks itself up when I activate the lock and close the door. You know, one time I lost the key to a door to one of my rooms, and I couldn't get in that room for, forever. What is she even talking about? I guess it's Iroha we're talking about here. Sure, you can create a locked room by activating a lock from inside and then closing the door from the outside, but that wasn't possible with a broadcasting room because it, wasn't an automatic lock. It was very manual, yeah. Iroha, the broadcasting door is probably different from the ones you're thinking of. It's not a button-based lock mechanism, but a lever-based one. One that's locked upon holding the door down with a lever. In other words, you can only lock the door after completely shutting the door. I see. So if we were to try what Iroha suggested by locking the door and then shutting it, you wouldn't be able to shut it in the first place. Correct. Hence why it becomes a contradiction where there was nobody in the broadcasting room when it was locked. Forget the alibis, just solving how the culprit even managed such a feat is the issue right now. This hurts my brain. Iroha, everything hurts your brain. But the fact of the matter is, the door was indeed locked when nobody was inside the room, right? This is proving to be quite a riddle that the culprit has poised. What method did the culprit actually use to achieve this? Nope, I got it. Bing 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 bing. It might be the tape. There was like tape residue. How did the culprit create the locked room? Maybe they used to lock the door and used a special tool outside? There's certainly a whole lot of props in the storage room to assist such an act. Perhaps there was another exit we didn't know about? It could be the window, but what do you mean? Sora mentioned a window being broken, remember? Oh, they broke the window and escaped! Oh my god, Iroha. They did lock the door from the inside, but they just escaped from the locked room through the window. Wouldn't they just fall to their death? Did you forget how high up the Twin Towers actually were? Yeah, we gotta get Iroha. They couldn't have gotten out the window. Yeah. When in doubt, counter Iroha. She's usually wrong. I love that beautiful 100. No, Iroha, I don't think that's the case. I first thought of it as a possibility, but if you were to actually fall from that height, you would definitely fall to your doom this time. You'd know about pushing people from heights, wouldn't you, Iroha? But they could have used rope to climb down, like they do in the movies. And besides, this is a virtual world. Who knows? You might survive from falling. Like if you phase through the floor or something. Ha 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 ha. Wait, no! I'm not saying you're suspicious because you've done that before, but please don't take it the wrong way. Quit it, Iroha. There's zero possibility of that happening. I also considered it plausible and tried throwing stuff out the window, but it actually fell to the ground. Looks like the Tower of Babel was just an anomaly. Then, why did the culprit break the window? Well, why did the culprit break the window? Maybe to throw something out of it, to dispose of evidence? Did they only do it to make us think they escaped through the window? Was that it? No. The reason they broke the window was because they needed to. And the proof for that is... You know what I just realized? There hasn't been a single, at least unless I'm misremembering, multiple choice minigame in this one. You know, where they, like, give you 3 options and you just need to pick the right one. They had that in the first Danganronpa and I'm surprised they don't have it in this one, because it's an option during the free time events, so it's clearly, like, very possible to implement with the code, but they just didn't do it. Anyway, though. They needed to break the window. Why? To get glass powder, maybe? Because there was glass powder. Okay, yeah. Perhaps it was because they needed some glass powder? I'm so good. I'm so good. Glass powder? What are you talking about? I found some laying in the West Broadcasting Room. More specifically on some burnt scrap paper. Okay, is that not peeking? There we go. Sorry. The window is made out of glass, right? Maybe the powder was the reason they broke the window. A plausible theory, yes. But why would they even sprinkle glass powder onto that paper in the first place? Burnt powder. Glass? That's it! That's it, Sora! What is it, Iruko? There was something bugging me when we were all investigating together, but now it all makes sense. I'll help you out, Sora. Yay! Wife, wife, wife. Remember the thing I told you about in the broadcasting room? I didn't know what it was for back then, but maybe this is the key to solving the locked room mystery. I got it, don't worry. Broadcasting room, the sprinklers suddenly activated. At the time, we did panic, but we were focused on Taria. Conversely speaking, if speakers have activated, there must have been a fire. Didn't know. Burnt paper, too easily figure out what happened. I don't know. Okay, cool. I think that's it, because that's the one we talked about with Iruko as well. We, like, had to make a fire. Perfect 100. Never doubted myself for a second. We are on the route to A rank, and I am not intending to slow down. I get it, Iruko. It's the projector film, isn't it? The powder that was on that film. Projector film? Yup, as I expected. The powder on the film was yellow phosphorus. The glass powder was used to create friction with the yellow phosphorus to cause a fire. Okay, you lost me a little bit. I thought they would have done the friction when it spun through the projector. How would glass powder cause friction? I guess they'll probably explain it in a second. What? Fire? And what was that thing before? Yellow phosphorus? Aw, Yuki, you're not a chemist. It's okay. It's a chemical commonly used in matches and such back in the day. Its low perping point made it quite dangerous to use, eventually leading to its discontinuation. How'd the culprit get their hands on it then? It's actually easier than you'd think. The island is a city, and there's literally a place for everything here. That being said, I didn't expect you to have such knowledge of chemistry, Iruko. It's pretty much obvious to anyone who actually paid attention in class. Okay, but how did they cause friction between them? And if a fire really had occurred, how come nobody noticed it? And another question I might add. What does the fire have anything to do with the locked room mystery again? It certainly does. And it's thanks to Iruko that we found this out. The important part isn't the yellow phosphorus, the glass powder, nor the sprinklers. What we have to focus on is the projector film itself was used to create the locked room mystery. The projector film itself? Iroha, you asked how the culprit was able to create friction between those two flammable materials, right? It was from the ceiling. It was because it all occurred from the ceiling that we weren't able to notice it. as we were busy looking at Taruya and that horrifying visual. To be precise, it had to do with the sprinklers. The sprinklers in the broadcasting room were shaped like a ring, so you'd be able to hang something on it. Now, hold on just a minute. You're not actually going to suggest they actually hung the film on the sprinklers, are you? Why would they opt for such a cumbersome method?
He's right, and the broadcasting room ceiling was super high. You could use a ladder, but there wasn't even anyone to use the ladder.
Don't you worry about that. Even with the ceiling high and nobody there, the fire was going to automatically occur once we entered the broadcasting room. What? Didn't you all hear what Sora's trying to say? That's why the projector film was used. They specifically used an old-fashioned film projector that it has to go through a loop. Yuruko's right. The locked room mystery was possible only because it was an old-fashioned film projector. Okay, so I was right. That's what caused, friction. The proof the projector film was used, the evidence on the door should be the key. The evidence on the door? The tape? That's the only other thing on the door, but I don't understand. I'm a little lost here. The lock on the broadcasting room door had tape on it. So what? Tape? Wait a minute. Oh, so that's how it is.
What? I didn't quite get that. What about it?
Simply put, this is what happened. They pulled out the film from the projector to make it go through the sprinklers on the ceiling. Oh, they did like a pulley system. That's crazy, and we didn't see that at all? Even as we were breaking the door, we didn't see it? And they taped it on the door's lock. Then they sprinkled yellow phosphorus onto the film and positioned the scrap of paper with the glass powder between the sprinklers and the film. Now, what would happen if the projector was turned on at this point? Well, I imagine the film would... Oh, wrong voice.
Well, I imagine the film would start rolling.
Correct. The projector would start pulling the film inwards. And with that, the lock's orientation becomes from horizontal to vertical, due to the film pulling it. I get it now. So using this method, you'll be able to lock the door automatically just by turning the projector on and leaving the room with the door closed. Yes, and the great thing about this trick is that the state is preserved until someone opens the door. The film won't roll anymore due to the tape on the lock holding it steady. I see. Oh, wrong voice. I see. Indeed, this trick is magnificent. But how would you exactly be able to cause a fire from this mechanism? Simple. The film just had to resume rolling. Oh, wrong voice, but it's fine. The locked door cannot be unlocked and opened by normal means, so someone has to eventually break the door down. And that's exactly what happened. When the door gets destroyed, the film is no longer held still by the tape. So the film will begin rolling again. Exactly. And because the culprit had set it up so the film went through the sprinklers, it'll naturally move through them when it retracts. On that film, the culprit had sprinkled yellow phosphorus, and on the sprinklers, the paper with glass powder on it attached to it. Now, what do you imagine would happen if the film grazes the paper at high speed?
Flames?
Yep, that's how they created friction to cause the fire. When we had broken into the broadcasting room, there was this weird video casted by Taria's body, remember? That wasn't just for show. That was the video on the film being played right as we destroyed the tape holding it.
Of course.
There was also the purpose of misguiding our attention in that dark room. Oh, so the sprinklers had activated immediately because the flame it had detected was right beneath it. That was the reason we were showered with water soon after we entered. How's that? We've now solved the locker room mystery. Mikado? Are you... amazing! I applaud your detective skills. I most sincerely do. And to think I was worried you wouldn't make it without Shobai. Oh, how you've all grown. Marveling because someone solved your riddle, huh? You really are a psycho, you know that? Oh, no, you've got it all wrong. I was genuinely astonished by your intellect, you see? We'll know soon whether Mikado's the culprit or not when we talk this through. Now that we've solved the locked room mystery, it's finally time to talk about the culprit. Hold on. While we did solve the mystery of how they escaped locked the floor and escaped, aren't there still other matters to solve first? Getting feisty, are we? Trying to tug on every little detail in hopes of something? No, Yuruko, he's right. What? The locked room mystery has been solved, sure. We proved it's possible to lock the door without anyone being inside the broadcasting room. But about that, there actually was someone inside the broadcasting room. Taruya. Oh, that reminds me.
Taria had disappeared from the room when we re-entered the room after the sprinklers were turned off.
Room.
Right? So, how'd that happen?
It's probably the sprinklers. Like, you know, how the sprinklers were strong enough to blind our sight with water, right? They used that to move Taria while we weren't looking. Why else would they utilize the sprinklers into their plan? Yuruko, that's impossible. Whatever method they used, if Taruya had been moved out of the broadcasting room, he would have certainly passed us waiting in front of the door. It's not outside the broadcasting room, then maybe he was inside storage? Both broadcasting rooms had a storage room, right? Maybe there was a secret passageway between those two rooms. I can guarantee you there was none of the sort. The bridge is the only thing that connects the two buildings. And even that was unusable due to bugs. You see, you were all presuming a logical fallacy. From the proposition of someone moved Taruya away to hold, someone else needs to be inside the broadcasting room. Then, doesn't that invalidate the whole purpose of solving the locked room mystery? It ain't a locked room mystery if the culprit was actually inside the whole time. So what do you suggest we do? How did Taruya disappear? So now do you get what the problem is here? If we suppose your locked room mystery theory is true, then you're saying Taruya disappeared out of thin air. Everyone, don't tell me you're all stuck. They made a fake body out of a water-soluble material. And then when the sprinklers went off, it melted. No, but they probably did do some kind of, like, something on the wall, right? Like, since the cloth was hung there and then the cloth fell down, maybe there was like a projection or a picture or a painting? Question mark? There was some kind of fake body. Because we didn't actually go up to Taruya's body the first time. I'm convinced it's been in the other tower the entire time. Now this is a predicament. At this rate, we'll never even find out what method the culprit used, let alone who they are. Then use your head instead of leaving everything to us. All you're doing is complaining. Well, it's kind of hard to say anything when every single person in here is suspecting you. Shut up, Mikado. Can't you see we're trying to think here? Jeez. Case in point. You all saw that, didn't you? Why would I say anything if this is what happens all the time? Wah, wah, wah. Somebody call the wambulance.
I knew we needed Shobai after all. If he was here, we wouldn't be...
Shobai. We didn't particularly like him, but without him, we wouldn't have come this far. No, it's not just him. Kokoro, Kanade, we're all standing here because of the help of those who are no longer with us. So, are we really incapable of doing anything without them? Can we even survive through a single trial? That isn't true. We can do this too. Think what Kokoro, Kanade, and Shobai would have done in this situation. Maybe leave Kanade out of that discussion. I don't think we really need to be pondering what Kanade would have done. Think, what would they have come up with? If I were them... Whose sprites are those? Sorry, I'm like... really squinting at the screen, trying to figure out... turning up my brightness. It kinda looks like Tsurugi and Rei. Am I just like Tsurugi pilled, or... Huh. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's them. So you are a part of the Kisaragi Foundation. I mean, I was theorizing that all the way back in, like, Chapter 4, but still. Yuki, did you say something about the storage room? Huh? Well, yeah, we did find the body inside the storage room, right? I mean, it was in the east instead of the west, but yeah. About the storage room. What do you think made it suddenly appear? Suddenly appear? When we first arrived on the 5th island, there was no door to the storage room in the broadcasting room. We only took notice it after the culprit's broadcasting. Wait, no. Even when we entered the west broadcasting room, there was no door behind Taria then either. I can't really remember how it was with all the commotion back then. No, she's right. When that video was being broadcasted on Taria's body, yeah, there was definitely no door behind him.
Was that so? I think I remember it. Or not.
No, I'm positive. We only found the door after the sprinklers had stopped. The cloth was probably covering it then. Right, whatever the culprit did, being it carrying Taria over or making the door appear. The only time they were able to do any of that was only during when the sprinklers were active.
But why? And how?
Forget making Taria disappear. How would you be able to suddenly make a door appear from a wall with nothing? Virtual world. I guess even that isn't gonna cut it this time, right?
Maybe there was some hidden mechanism within the room. Like, you know, in manga, where if you push a button, the wall moves to reveal a hidden space. Or something like that.
Is this really the time to talk about manga? If you don't have the brains, then you should at least shut up.
Eee! Sorry.
Huh? I can't help but get the feeling that something's off. The part about the locked room mystery we just solved. Sora? Is something up? You've been staring at the ceiling for quite a while. I mean, I guess that is something up, but still. Yuruko. Why sprinklers? What? The locked room mystery we just solved. Why did they cause a fire to activate the sprinklers? To, like, dissolve the fake body and, like, push down the cloth. I kind of think I was cooking when I said it might be a painting. Huh? You guys are the ones that explained that to us, remember? They used the sprinklers to look the film and hold the door shut. That was only about how the sprinkler's shape and position were used. You can create a locked room using only the projector and film, without ever needing to cause a fire with friction from the yellow phosphorus. Huh. You're right. Why'd they suddenly cause a fire? They caused the fire to activate the sprinklers. The question then shifts to why they'd set up such a convoluted mess just to activate the sprinklers. I recall you saying something about the water streams being strong enough to blind your sight. Perhaps they tried to do something in that time? Or they wanted us to leave the broadcasting room to do something without being seen. Do something without being seen. And what would that something even be? There wasn't anyone inside the broadcasting room to begin with, so even with the water blinding us, there wasn't anything secretive to be done. I think activating the sprinklers itself was the point. Activating the sprinklers itself? Think. The irregularity that happened, and the sprinklers' activation. These events must be connected. We already solved the locked room mystery. We're not objecting that fact. We're only looking at it from a different angle. Tackle each question, one by one, and we'll surely find the truth. Logic craft, yeah. Alright, let's go. I've got Yuri's ability. We're locked in. We're so good. I'm not even worried. Bing-a-ding-bing. Watch this pro gamer moves. You ain't never seen it done like this. Bada bing, bada boom. Ah! Ah, wait, I got hit by my own stray block? Now that ain't fair. It's okay. What can the culprit achieve by activating the sprinklers? Wash something off. I kinda think I was cooking. Which, I'm sorry, gang. It's not looking good for Iroha if it is actually a drawing or paint. Locked in, locked in, locked in. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Up, down. Oh, up. That's okay. One little nick is fine. What did the culprit try and wash? The wall. Yeah, definitely the wall. Just hug the roof. And down, down, down. Ah! They call me the tailor because of how I thread the needle. Up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down. What did the culprit try and wash? Get rid of the drawing, yeah. Beautiful work. Never doubted myself for a second. Look at that. Look at that 100. It's so beautiful. We are so on track for A, you guys. It's not even funny. Wait, what? Save game. Continue trial. Okay, that was weird. The body discovery announcement. Back then, I was too busy panicking to notice, but something was off about it. When we broke down the door and entered the room, we four all saw Taruya's body. Yet the body discovery announcement was not made. Why was that the case? Because it was just a drawing instead of the real deal. Guys, Iroha's cooked. Iroha's so cooked. Why do you guys want me to get D rank? What did I do? What did I ever do to y'all? You don't want me to have money? If I don't have money, we can't hang out with Shobai. You guys do realize that, right? You're right. With 4 people discovering the body, the announcement should have been made. But the announcement was only made after we found the body again in the East Broadcasting Room. Perhaps it was just the case that Taruya was still alive when you found him in the West Broadcasting Room? No, the corpse we found in the East Storage Room was cold and rigid. Only a few minutes had passed between when we first discovered him in the West and when we arrived in the East Broadcasting Room. If he died during this time, his body should have been still warm and soft. Taruya was poisoned, right? I imagine he probably died a while ago. Okay, wait, this is kind of like a crack theory, right? But I know there's like lead paint. Is there paint with cyanide in it? Like, is paint toxic with cyanide? Or am I just cracked? Because earlier they proposed like, oh, how did they get cyanide? Maybe there was like a super toxic paint that had cyanide in it. I don't know if that's like a common thing or I'm just pulling that out of nowhere, but... After all, you couldn't find him after searching everywhere for days, right? I agree. Taruya was probably kept inside the East Storage Room all this time after being poisoned to death. The door to the storage room was hidden by paint covering the walls. So, of course we couldn't find him. We didn't even know the existence of the place he was in. This is amazing! We solved every trick related to the crime scene. So, all we gotta do is find the person who did this. Slow turns to Iroha Nijue. The culprit's identity. Kinda ironic, isn't it? All this questioning about how they did it basically revealed who did it as well. I mean, do I even have to spell it out? We all know there's only one person capable of doing this. It's exactly as Yuruko said. This trick was only possible by one individual among us. I wanted to talk more, but now that we've uncovered the truth, we have to reveal that person. The identity of the killer who murdered Taruya. Man, I wanted her redemption arc, but I guess we're not getting it. That's a shame. The culprit, who fooled our eyes through hyper-realistic paintings and killed Taruya. You've been silent for quite a while now, haven't you? Iroha Nijue? Yup, and that's the halfway point. That's fucked. Well, man, I mean, she's my current least favorite in the cast, so I'm not like that sad about it. I'm more sad at the loss of arc potential than anything, but c'est la vie, I suppose. But hey, that's another notch on my scorecard. Anyway, this is when we usually take our break, so you all know the drill. Go to the bathroom, get a drink, get a snack, do whatever you gotta do, and we'll be back for the conclusion of this trial in just a few minutes. Fuck, I've been muted. I mean, what I was gonna say, is what were you guys up to? I leave for, what, 8 minutes? And you guys go wild. I can't leave you guys alone. I can't do anything. Anyway, though. Back to the inevitable decline, oopsie, of Iroha. I don't want to say I'm, like, happy about it, because I'm not, but, like, this is the least evil option, I fear. Iroha, this trick could have only been done by you. You're the culprit of this case. Iroha. Wait, this is all based on the fact it was a drawing on the wall, correct? But can we really be sure of that? But that's Kagede's lie, isn't it? What is with you? Again? I just have a hard time believing it, that's all. Even if it's a drawing meant to fool our eyes. In the end, a drawing is a drawing. I'm sure there would have been clear discrepancies compared to the real one we'd notice. We didn't have many chances to look at the painting to actually notice those differences. Before the case happened, it was just white paint covering some wall, so we barely even took notice of it. And even after when the crime had occurred, we only saw the painting of Taria twice. Through the video announcement, and when we actually broke into the room, right? Yes, and the former really shouldn't count considering the subpar resolution and video quality. Even when we actually witnessed it with our own eyes, it was blurred with creepy video from the projector. The room was dark, and he was far away. Definitely not enough for us to see through it as a painting from a glance. And since Sprinkles had erased the drawing afterward, we had no way of checking it thoroughly. But even with those limitations, you'd still need to be a real professional to fool us. And the only one with enough skills to produce such delicate paintings is you, Iroha. Ruh-roh. Iroha, if there's anything you'd like to object to, tell us now. Oh, that's a new sprite.
I don't know what you're saying.
Whoa, she's vibrating like crazy. It's like the Kinger gif from Amazing Digital Circus when he just like starts violently vibrating. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm the culprit. You might not know this, but trick art is no easy task.
But aren't you the ultimate artist? I recall you bragging numerous times about being able to draw paintings of any genre.
Even the ultimate artist has something they can't do.
Iroha, although we've all suspected you for a long time, I can't say I feel good having to be the bad cop here. But if she really is the culprit, we can't let our feelings cloud our judgment. Let us prove that Iroha's the culprit. Nope, I know what I'm doing. Sprinkler's bridge file. Oh my god, that's a lot of bullets. The Taria from the west was just a drawing. That much is obvious. The real Taria was already dead inside the east storage room. And you're the only person who could draw such convincing paintings, Iroha.
But I'm not the culprit.
Then who else do you suppose could produce such paintings?
I don't know.
Hold on. I've got one question to ask you. Sora said the sprinklers had washed away the painting on the wall. But that would cause the paint to trickle down and wet the floor. Yet there was no evidence explaining that. How do you explain this?
Yeah, what he said, I think.
There was the cloth probably absorbed it, right? Yeah. So let's equip that. Bazinga, bazoom. Shoot! Show me the 100. This is such a beautiful run. It's a very easy trial, but I'm gonna take my credit anyway. There's no need to worry about the washed off paint. All the culprit had to do was mop up the paint with the prop cloth they'd readily prepared. Prop cloth? You mean that dirty piece of blanket on the scene? Yeah, I imagine it got stained from being used multiple times as a stage prop. That cloth was used to soak up paint that had trickled down from the wall. It was so stained we didn't acknowledge the paint soaked on it before. But doesn't that paint stain make the theory of the culprit using the paint more concrete? Agreed. If it weren't for the painting, there wasn't any reason to put that there near the wall. As previously mentioned, the storage room door was already sealed by paint when we first investigated the city. In other words, whoever did it was planning to kill Taria right from the day we arrived here. Iroha, So you really did kill Taria?
No, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not the culprit. Wait. That's it. That's gotta be it.
Iroha?
Yeah, I've thought of a way now. I've got it now. I can't be the culprit, 'cause... Oh, I didn't mean it like I came up with it now. I meant, Anyway, I just have to tell you why I can't be the culprit, right? Then here I go.
Bridge sprinklers window file film.
I know that I'm the only one who can draw here, but I have an alibi. An alibi? If I were the culprit, I would have broadcast the video too, right? But I was at the east something.
Yeah, she was there, something. Even Yuki said so. My alibi's been proven. That's the only way to walk all the... Oh, you could use the bridge, I guess. That's what it's gotta be, right? Even though, I don't know, there was no bridge. But, like, it's the only thing I can even think of that could possibly... Because Sora did say, though, there was something up with the bridge. So maybe Iroha found a way to use the bridge anyway. Bazinga! Give me my perfect score, please. Thank you. No, Iroha. There's the connecting bridge. You can move between the two broadcasting rooms quickly using the bridge.
What?
But Sora, wasn't the connecting bridge... Sora, it seems you've forgotten about how the bridge isn't currently in operation right now. Did I not spend precious time ever since arriving on this island, running around to tell all of you how dangerous it would be to try to cross the bridge? He's right, Sora. Don't get me wrong, Iroha's the most suspicious one here, but that logic doesn't make sense. We couldn't use the bridge, so Iroha's alibi is sound. I'm not sure about that. Was the bridge really not in use?
What? What do you mean by...
Didn't anyone feel like there was something off about the bridge? Both when Mikado first told us about the bridge, and when we were investigating it. I felt there was this strangeness to it. Strangeness? That was when I thought of a possibility. I was confident on it once we figured out about Iroha's art trick. But the problem is, there's no real way to prove this. If you're concerned about the investigation of the crime scene, it can be re-allowed if there's a majority vote to do so. What? If you're yeah. Now, hold on. Monocrow, you're not supposed to... A re-examination, you say? So an investigation is still possible during the class trial? The class trial will be given a chance to pause the class trial and re-examine the crime scene under the majority rule. Since when did we have such a rule in the system? Everyone, this may be our chance to solve the mystery of the connecting bridge. Monocrow, please allow us to re-investigate the connecting bridge once more. You need a majority vote to proceed. Didn't you hear me? I told you to wait, you useless bird. What do you even think you're doing? I never gave you the administrator rights to do things like... Wait. I see. The reset. Shoba? This is like Trigger Happy Havoc Chapter 2, kinda. I mean, they didn't say majority vote, but they did pause the investigation to, like... re-examine during that. To know what he's muttering to himself, but why is he acting so flustered about this? This is getting real fishy, Sora. I'm all up for it. We need to get a second look at that bridge again. Same here.
Everyone, shouldn't we focus on the trial?
We now have a majority vote. The class trial will be paused immediately, and we will move to the corresponding room. We really left the trial grounds. I guess it is still the same building. Well, all we had to do was go up the elevator after all. Sora, watch out! No, I'm gonna be fine. See, what did I tell you? The bug is still present. Now, how about we leave this dangerous place? It's just a visual bug. I'll bet you can walk out onto the bridge. Watch me carefully, everyone. Is that your handbook? I'm gonna throw it on the bridge. What? But Sora, won't it fall down and break? Losing your handbook is against the rules. Oh, wrong voice. Using your handbook, your handbook is against the rules. Let's not do anything reckless. Yeah, throw something like your hair scrunchie or something. No, if my theory's correct, we won't have to worry about that. What do you mean? Yeah.
What?
I knew it. Wait, Sora, are you really going to... So I was right from the get-go when I said it just looks like it's not there, but it is. As you can see, I can cross the bridge. They use the same trick they used on the broadcasting room wall on this bridge. They painted on the floor, wall, and ceiling of the bridge to completely mimic the outside scenery. For real? Hold on. Wait, what? That's not possible. I'm sorry. I thought they were going to say it's like a visual bug with the bridge. There is no way you could paint the scenery from every angle. I've seen videos of people doing that with like a scrap of paper from a fixed perspective. But if you're like walking or moving, there is absolutely no way. You're right. It was a drawing all along. You can quite literally rub the paint off. Once you go on the bridge, the illusion of the drawing seems to wear off. Trick arts are designed to fool you only if you look at it from a specific angle. If you look in front of the bridge entrance, it looks like the bridge had disappeared from that perspective. But from this angle, it doesn't look anything like real scenery.
How did you figure that out, Sora?
Of course, I didn't even have a hint of doubt at first, nor would I have dared testing it. Even I myself was fooled. When I first opened the door to this bridge, I felt as though my brain, the feeling of my body about to drop from this height. But I finally realized what the strangeness I felt when Mikado caught me from falling was. There's no wind blowing here. Oh, so that's how it was. This is a building of extreme height. If there was no bridge and there was only open space, you'd expect a strong breeze due to the altitude difference. But that was just a hunch, so I was about to further test it during the investigation. Then I ran out of time thanks to Mikado. And when we figured out the culprit had used paintings as their murder trick, I immediately thought of the possibility of this being the case. I see. Me and Yuki never actually checked the bridge out ourselves, so we had no idea. Only Sora was able to come to this conclusion since she was the only one who checked the bridge with her own eyes. Well, we did have a lot of stuff going on ever since we arrived here. Yeah, you can say that again. Then, this proves that the connecting bridge was usable when the crime had happened. Well then. Iroha, what do you have to say for yourself? It's not looking good for you, girlie. Say something. Come on, we're all waiting here. So, I guess this is confirmed then. There's one thing that's been bugging me. If Iroha's the culprit, that means she even came up with the locked room mystery trick with a projector. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like she didn't come up with this murder plan. Mikado probably gave it to her. But do you really think that's possible with her intellect? God damn. We're about to get her executed, and Yuki's gonna still fire shots and call her stupid.
Well, she is an idiot, I guess.
You're right. How can a hopeless idiot like me think of something that smart? You're really gonna go that low? No, everyone. Even that can be possible, because like Mikado was covering for her the entire time. Like, he did not want Sora to go on that bridge. As the case wasn't done by Iroha alone, there was an accomplice. Is that so? You're really carrying this case, Sora. Think of the connecting bridge we found just now. As you now know, the bridge was made invisible using trick art, but was always usable. The reason we didn't question the bridge's existence was because someone told us the connecting bridge was not in use due to a bug. With that, we have our conclusion. The person who fed us false information about the bridge, they're the accomplice for this case. Where are you, you little shit? Wouldn't you agree, Mikado? Mikado is an accomplice? No! Why did it take me so long to realize it? Every time I got near the connecting bridge, Mikado had stopped me somehow. When I first opened the bridge entrance door, when I tried to visit the bridge during the investigation. Yeah. So he was always on the lookout. That way nobody would figure out the truth about the connecting bridge. If we did know about this world's existence as a virtual world, we wouldn't have believed his story about the bridge being a bug. Wait, so did he openly admit this world being a virtual world just to lead us to that? I don't know if he had calculated that far, but Mikado is definitely an accomplice for this case, that's for sure. Now hold on. All I did was inform you about this world's rules. I myself knew nothing about the connecting bridge. What do you mean you knew nothing? You clearly set this up with Iroha. There's actually other evidence that proves you were teaming up with Iroha. This also has something to do with paintings. Care to explain, Sora? As I previously mentioned, The storage room door was always covered in paint the day after we arrived. But don't you find that a bit weird? When did the culprit have time to paint the wall? Well, didn't you say the culprit planned a murder as soon as they arrived here? Yeah, but they said, Mikado said don't go into the towers at night. Even though it wasn't like an official rule or anything. To give Iroha time to paint the walls. No, that can't be it. When we arrived on this island, it was already midnight. Monocrow said the Twin Towers were off limits during midnight, remember? And that was another lie by Mikado. What? So that was Mikado's lie? I was kinda kidding about my It's Kagede's lie reference earlier, but apparently I was spot on. I knew something was up when I first heard that rule. I kinda glossed over it since it was Monocrow who announced it, but he specifically said, this rule is going to be enforced at the same level as the school rules. But why even do that? If he wanted to ban it, wouldn't it be better to state it in the rules directly? Good point. So, this is how it went. Mikado and Iroha worked together from the start to murder Teruya upon arriving on the 5th island. And after that, they announced a false rule of not permitting entrance to the twin buildings. They went straight to work. Yeah, it was weird when you really think about it. Calling us suddenly in the middle of the night to make us walk across the bridge? They were in on it the whole time. Yes, the plan was likely executed by Iroha, but the planning itself was probably done by Mikado. With this, we've broken through Iroha's defense of, I'm too stupid to think of all this. If there's any objection to the theory we've proposed, we'd like to hear them now.
Well, why don't you trust me, everyone?
You've given us literally no reason to trust you.
Why would I team up with someone like this to murder someone? I would never. We were gonna defeat Void together with the power of friendship, remember?
Girl. Iroha, do you even know why we're not surprised of you teaming up with Mikado? It's because we long suspected you as the last Void member.
What?
Yuruko. It's alright, Sora. I mean, there's no point hiding it anymore. Iroha Nijue. You're a Void, aren't you?
No. I'm not a Void. The Void's a Shobai. He ran off, you see?
Ever since Nikkei revealed himself as a Void, your actions were undoubtedly suspicious. And by process of elimination, it's obvious you're the one who pushed Sora off the Tower of Babel. Now, wait just a minute. It's still too early to decide Iroha is the culprit. We still have... Iroha? CG? There it is.
What do I do? You told me it wouldn't turn out this way.
You, shut your mouth. I don't know what you're talking about.
But, Mikado, you told me I wouldn't die if I did that. Please, save me. You told me I'd live if I listened to everything you said.
All right, I get it, so shut up. Can't you see I'm doing my best to think of a rebuttal right now?
Mikado.
So, can I take that as a yes? That you're a Void, and the culprit.
No, wait, no, that's not it. I'm not the culprit. I'm not a Void either. I just wanted to. I don't know anything about this.
Resisting till the end, huh, Iroha? She's basically admitted her crime at this point. Let's send her off with the final nail in the coffin. Is that the Bob Ross, like... I'm locked in. The instant reload is literally a lifesaver, guys. Like... Bang, 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 bang. Okay, what is it? The last remaining void. Bazinga! We got it. A 100. 100. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Iroha, you asked Mikado for help just now, didn't you? That one act implies 3 other things in this trial. 1. Iroha's a Void member. 2. Mikado's an accomplice who helped Iroha in this case. 3. You're the culprit who killed Taria.
Come! How does that paint me as the culprit?
She's so cooked. She's so cooked.
Alright then. I'm a Void member. So what? That doesn't make me the culprit, does it?
You've gotta be kidding me. The culprit should have went straight to the Twin Towers and worked on the broadcasting room and the bridge on the night we arrived. The work was already done the next morning when I investigated, so the only time frame the culprit had was the night before. That means the culprit knew the rule of not allowing the entrance to the Twin Towers during the nighttime was a false rule. That rule was a lie made up by Mikado, but it was announced to us not by him, but Monocrow. So there was no way anyone would know the rule was a lie, nor did anyone have any reason to doubt it. Unless that person's a Void member.
What?
If you're a Void, then you would know in advance that such a rule didn't exist. In fact, you would never know that unless you sided with the mastermind. Thus, the person able to perform this case's murder trick was someone with the required art skills, and someone who's a Void member. And it just so happens you just admitted you're a Void member. This is equivalent to admitting you're the culprit. Even Mikado's like, I can't save you now. Let me also emphasize the fact that Iroha was, well, wrong voice, that Iroha was deep asleep at the bus station the day we arrived. Wake up, yeah. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that I think about it, it was 'cause she spent an all-nighter drawing paintings, huh? Exactly.
That's not true. It's Mikado. He's the culprit. Turns out, he's actually better at painting than I am. Why would I ever kill Taria? We were really close.
Girl, no you weren't. No, you were not. What? Me when I lie.
We were rainbow buddies. We talked to each other a lot, and then...
I think it's time you give up.
What?
It's over. I tried my best, but you blurted out everything with your own mouth. The plan was a failure. I at least need to save myself out of this. It was my mistake, leaving it to someone as stupid as you.
No, you can't.
So you're fessing up? That you're an accomplice who helped Iroha in this case? I wouldn't call it coming up with the entire plan as just plain helping if I were you. Do you seriously think this useless idiot could think of anything herself? All that she did was just carry out the dirty deed. Wait, so you helped Iroha knowing you would die? What do you mean, Yuki? If we didn't figure out the culprit and failed the class trial, everyone except Iroha would die, right? And that included Mikado, who came up with this whole plan. Yeah, but like, I think he knew Iroha was gonna fail. I think he just needed the game to continue. I think he just tricked her. Also, we haven't even talked about, like, the poison, like where she got it, how she administered it, or why there was a knife in Taruya. Are we not gonna talk about any of that? Death has no meaning to me. Iroha being the last survivor of the killing game was just gonna be the last step to our grand plan. What do you mean by that? And why do I have to tell you that? Anyway, now that Iroha has gone and messed up everything, my plans need severe revisions. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. This is quite upsetting. Let us end this class trial quick and get things over with.
No, wait. Don't do this to me, Mikado. I did my best, you know? I'm different from Nikkei. I stayed loyal till the end. All because I believed in your words. I did my best. And you're saying it's all over? I'm gonna die at this rate. Please, help.
Your loyalness to me? The only reason you didn't betray me was because I threatened you with the school rules. If you hadn't just told everyone about what we did, we could have turned the tables to win this class trial. You've got nobody to blame but your own incompetence of not being able to keep your cool.
No, this can't be happening. I did everything to survive. I even dirtied my hands for this. I can't even go back to my normal life anymore. How? How could you do this to me?
Iroha.
Sora, please save me. I'm sorry for hiding the fact I was a void. I'll help you with everything I've got. Just please save me.
Even if you somehow pulled that off, you'd be killed for breaking the school rules. Your demise was destined from the beginning.
No.
Looks like she stopped responding. Iroha, even if you beg us to help you, it's just too late. Everything is over for you. Now then, Sora, would you please summarize the case for us like you always do? Add the finishing blow to this poor wretched soul here. Why would you suggest such a thing? After such a letdown of a class trial, I have no reason to continue this foolery. Let's get rid of the girl who nobody wants, and finally commence the true endgame of this killing school trip. Seems Iroha doesn't even have the strength to struggle anymore. It does feel a bit cruel, but this is the class trial. Let's put an end to this. Dude, we didn't even talk about the killing itself. Like, at all. We didn't address the murder weapon. We didn't address, like, the fake murder weapon. It feels unfinished, but I guess we're just gonna continue. Let me see. After some preparation, Taria was poisoned. Alright, this has got to be first. No entry. And that, and then that. Okay. There's still so many questions. Culprit removed the painting. Not yet. But, like, why? Why the knife? Why use the knife? Where did they even get the cyanide? How did they capture Taruya? Like, Taruya's a full-on adult. Iroha's like 5 feet tall. Why? Again, why the knife fake out? Where did you get the cyanide? Okay, anyway. After some preparation, Taria was poisoned. Moved and hidden. The day after the incident happened. Then probably that. Then that, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, no, we are right. I was thinking maybe the last two could have been swapped, but okay. Alright, so they had to do the broadcast. Then they break the window. They use the glass powder and affix it. No, it looks like they set up the film first. Probably that one? No. I think I'm right about broadcast first, right? Or would they set up... If it's not broadcast first, maybe it's the film first. So you go that... And then... Yeah, then that, and then the window. And then the paper? No? Am I stupid? Okay, wait. The culprit hurried to fit. Okay, so that has the glass has to be after the broadcast. So when is this? After completing the projector prep. Okay. So if we start with projector prep, it'd be Bing Bing. But they can't do the glass yet. What is this one? After okay, then maybe it's got to be the painting, I guess. And then we can't do any of the glass stuff until we have the broadcast. So that? Okay, okay. Some of these are kind of hard. So we did the broadcast, and now they have to break the window, right? Where's the breaky break? Okay. Break the window. Use the powder. Affix it to the thing. With the locked, all that remains is to turn on the projector. With the okay, so then they left, right? Yeah. And then this is like, then they went to the east. While the culprit was finishing up, all survived. So that's probably first. And then seen by Iroha. Then we broke the door. That had disappeared. After the sprinkler stopped, was found in the east broadcasting room where... So that's not it. The painting... Then the sprinklers went off. Well, no, then the fire happened. Okay. One more page. We can do it. That's the last one. We already used that. Sprinkler. Okay, so we had a fire, so that means there's a sprinkler. Then it washed everything off. That already happened. We don't need that one. Wait. Fuck. Did I fuck up? Maybe? No, I fucked up. Okay. Sprinkler. What was this one? The painting disappeared and the paint spilled into the floor. Oh, okay, so first it melts and then it goes into the thing. And then we find the body? Okay, cool. After the 5th class trial, we hurriedly moved to the 5th island right away. Unbeknownst to us, the culprit had already planned to murder Taria with Mikado. This was because the culprit was a Void member. The culprit and Mikado made up the false rule of no entering the Twin Towers during nighttime, and went straight to prepare their crime. And by preparation, they needed to cover up the door to the storage room from the broadcasting rooms with paint. And they needed to draw trick art on the connecting bridge to make it seem like it disappeared from our sights. I'm sorry, that one... I can buy a lot of Danganronpa gimmicks. I have a hard time wrapping my head around that one. Mikado tried to fool us, saying the bridge had a bug. And because of what happened in the Tower of Babel with the virtual world, not one of us even had a hint of doubt. Like, the only way that would work is if you are standing on a fixed point, but like, Sora fell down. She would have seen the bridge from at least 2 different angles. Like, she fell backwards when Mikado caught her stumbling and stuff. After the preparations were done, Taria was kidnapped and poisoned to death by the culprit at some point with mysterious cyanide that they got out of, I don't know, the ether, I guess. His corpse was kept inside the east storage room, but since we didn't even know the existence of the room, we weren't able to find a single sign of him. And on the fateful day, the culprit prepared a little premonition video for us, and he had a knife wound for some inexplicable reason. I guess to match up with the video, that kind of makes sense, but we didn't discuss that, you know? They first moved to the east broadcast room to create a stab wound on Taria's corpse. This was the red herring planted in relation to the broadcast they'd soon make. They then erased the paint hiding the door to the storage room and moved to the west broadcasting room. Once they arrived at the west broadcasting room, the culprit first carried out their plan to create a locked room mystery. That locked room mystery required locking the door automatically using projector film. The culprit picked up creepy film to be slotted into the projector and covered it with yellow phosphorus that they also got from the ether, I guess. They then hung the film through the sprinklers and stuck it into the door's locks with tape. With this, by turning the projector on, the culprit was able to lock the door without being inside the room, as the film will pull the door's lock. The culprit then started drawing Taria on the wall. They tried to imitate Taria's appearance laying dead in the east storage room. Because the culprit had great talents in painting, they were able to draw a trick art of Taria, messing with our depth perception. See, this one I can kind of buy, because the wall is like a fixed structure, right? And they also said the room was dark, and they were playing a video over top of it. And he was like, quote-unquote, leaned against the wall. That one I can kind of buy, but the bridge? I don't know. The bridge is not doing it for me. After all preparations were done, the culprit used the computers to broadcast the footage to the whole city. And they filmed themselves holding a knife, approaching Taria. Well, in actuality, it was just a painting of Taria, but there was no way to know that just from the footage. But that wasn't all there was to it. The culprit then broke one of the windows. This made us think the culprit maybe broke the window to escape, but because the building was so high up, the chances of that were very low. I wonder why they didn't break it before the broadcast, because I feel like this would take some time to break the window, gather the glass powder, and stick it up there. Was there a ladder in the room? How did they reach? They said you could do it with a ladder, I think, but I don't know if we ever found a ladder in that room. But also, wouldn't it make more sense to do that before you do the video to give yourself more time to, like, run away from the scene? Because Iroha wouldn't have known exactly where everybody was. What if someone saw that video and they were, like, one floor under the broadcasting room? You'd be cooked. Anyway, though. They crushed the shards to create glass powder and spread it on a piece of paper. The culprit tied the paper with glass powder onto the sprinklers. They arranged it so the side of the paper with glass powder on its face is the side of the film with the yellow phosphorus on it. This was to make it so once the door was forced open, the film will roll back in, causing fire by friction between the two materials and activating the sprinklers. Once the trick was finished, all they had to do was turn on the projector and immediately leave the room. And, just like the culprit intended, the door was locked by the tape and the film had stopped rolling. At this point, we'd each seen the broadcast and heading west to the broadcasting room. The culprit didn't have much time to spare. To create their alibi, they didn't have much time to spare. That's the problem. To create their alibi, the culprit used the bridge to move over to the east building. They went down the elevator and out the east area and met Yuruko, thus creating their alibi. Originally, we thought the culprit who had been inside the west broadcasting room suddenly appearing in the east area was impossible. This was because we thought the connecting bridge was out of use. But that wasn't exactly the culprit's plan. The culprit finally regrouped with everyone and helped break down the door to the west broadcasting room. Once the door was destroyed, the film started rolling again, casting a video on the painted wall. At the same time, a fire was caused beneath the sprinklers from the friction between the yellow phosphorus and glass powder. Okay, here's my, one kind of... I guess maybe if it came out of the tape, then it could have wheeled up. I was gonna say, if it still was attached to the doorknob... No, it had tape residue, so it just means the tape came dislodged. Never mind, I take that part back, I guess. So, before we got the chance to address the situation, the sprinklers activated, and we had to leave the room. Because of the strong water spray from the sprinklers, all the paint on the wall was washed off. But, if the paint was dry... I guess she would have to do this while the Taria painting was still wet. Otherwise it would not work. Because water would probably not take out dried paint, right? I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of paint, but... So the body had disappeared, and in its place, the storage room door appeared. But I don't know if you could make a painting that detailed without letting the layers dry in between it, right? Like, that's not how painting works, at least from my memory of it. If we didn't come up with the painting theory, we would have never solved this trick. Here, the paint should have trickled down on the floor. But because the culprit anticipated this and placed a prop cloth near the wall, the cloth soaked up the paint, leaving barely any trace. The cloth was already pretty stained and dirty, so we never realized it had just recently soaked up paint. As soon as we noticed Taria disappeared, we searched frantically for him, and eventually found his body in the east storage room. With this, the culprit pulled off a locked room mystery, and managed to fool us into thinking the body had somehow teleported from the west to the east. The culprit sure had talent, but the plan was all constructed by the true mastermind, Mikado. The culprit had simply done what they were told to do. Even so, they killed Taria with their own hands, and nothing can change that. The culprit, the last remaining void, the one who cruelly murdered Taria. Iroha Nijue, the ultimate painter. It's you! Wow. 85, our lowest score yet. That's okay, we still cooked that trial.
No, I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed. Please, save me. Mom, Dad, anyone. I'm sorry. Please.
Now, shall we put an end to this? I know it's already kinda late to ask something like this when you've already killed 3 of your comrades. But are you really gonna abandon Iroha, Mikado? If she's gone, you'd be the only void remaining. And what difference does that make? It was all destined to work out this way. Yes, they were all just stepping stones, just here to fill up the numbers. After all, no one can even hope to understand my desire to see him once again. Isn't that right, Yuki? Huh? Shut up! Don't you look at me that way! I'm already getting excited. What beautiful flower will you bloom into when the end is nigh? Now then, Monocrow, it's time for your announcement of the end of this class trial. Bing, bing, bing. Give me my score, give me my score, give me my score. That's gotta be A. That's gotta be A. Look at all those hundreds. Give it to me. A! Yes, 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 yes. Oof. Oh, I love it here. Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I needed that. Me when I judge my self-worth by my rank in a video game. Now it has all been agreed on. It's time to commence the voting system. All remaining participants, please vote for the culprit with the switch in front of you. Abstination is not permitted, so make sure to participate in the voting time. All votes have now been confirmed. I will disclose the results. Bing, bing, bing. Spin it around, around the world, around the world. Wait, what? That ain't... No. Wait. What? Huh? What do you mean, wrong? What?
What? Huh?
Iroha Nijue, the ultimate artist, who has been voted by the majority as the blackened, is not the culprit of this case. I knew there was too much wrong. I had a whole ramble ready for the end of the stream. I had this whole ramble ready about how, like, it just doesn't make sense. About how we just did not talk about Taria's actual death enough. What did you just say? The Blackened has cleared the trial. As such, the killing school trip will now come to an end, as written in the school rules. Hold on. What's going on here? Iroha, you need to explain yourself right now.
I don't know. I thought I was the culprit. Wasn't I? No, I'm sure I was the one who killed Taruya.
Could you repeat what you just said, Monocrow? What do you mean the culprit is an Iroha? Then, who could it possibly... The Blackened of this case is the ultimate wizard, Mikado Sennoji. What? What did you say? Look at this room full of jokers! To be this easily fooled. Just how stupid can you be? Tell me, you're just trying to make me laugh, aren't you? You were just all in on it for the joke, right? I mean, you can't seriously be this brain dead. Mikado? Fooled? What do you mean?
Mikado, what's going on? I poisoned the food because you told me to. I did nothing wrong. Then how come you're the culprit of this case and not me?
So she poisoned the food? Okay, but like, we should have talked about that during the trial, dog. Of course you did nothing wrong. You did everything ever so perfectly, my dear. You have my compliments, Iroha. Because of your efforts, my plan has finally bloomed into something truly wonderful.
What are you trying to...
The poison I gave you was fake. Just plain old salt, that is. I already put the real cyanide in advance. All you did was sprinkle some salt on already poisoned food. That's a lie! You're using your position as mastermind to fix the result of the class trial, aren't you? You're just making all this up. Our reasoning was perfect.
He's right. There was nothing wrong with our reasoning.
Iroha herself is saying she's the culprit. This shouldn't count. This class trial is invalid. No, I am the real culprit who killed Taruya. No, that can't be. It's your fault for not figuring out everything. If Chobai or Kanade was here, the result might have been different. But I guess with Iroha herself thinking she was the culprit, it would have been a risky trial nevertheless.
Wait, so you used me?
No, he didn't. He used his magic, that's what. He used cheats to manipulate the class trial results. Why would I ever believe you? Here, I even have proof. No way. The rule that Mikado can't use magic to commit a murder is crossed out? Oh, really? Who pointed that out earlier? Do we wanna rewind the stream to when a certain someone, I'm not gonna name names, but her name might start with a B and end with an RB, might have pointed that out? That doesn't matter in the slightest. I can guarantee you I did not commit any foul acts during the case. I can even ask Monocrow to reinstate the rule if you're gonna be that petty about it. Your theory was indeed perfect. Oh, well, except for the fact you guessed the wrong person who poisoned Taria. So in the end, you lost, fair and square. Isn't it time you realize there's nothing more to it than that? Mikado didn't use any magic, God bless. He didn't use any cheats. All he did was trick Iroha and poison Taria. See, this is great. That's awesome. This was the problem I had with the Chapter 4 trial. It's just not as it's so much more impactful when you pull shit like this within the rules. It's so much cooler. No, that doesn't matter right now. Whether he cheated or not, the outcome's already been decided. We lost the class trial. Now there was no way of denying that. Are we gonna get a mass execution? Please, that'd be so cool. There's no way they're actually gonna kill everyone. I know we have a full chapter left, but like, they're at least gonna try. We might get like an alter ego situation where they get saved and like dumped in a dumpster or something. My mind went blank. I tried to think of a plan. Think of anything, but nothing. Nothing comes to mind. And in that amidst that void of nothingness, fear. Endless fear started to swirl up. We were so close to finding the real truth. Yet, everything is now over. I feel like I was swimming up from the deep abyss, drowning just before arriving at the surface. This must be a cruel joke. I can't believe this. The culprit should have been Iroha. Then why? Whether you believe it or not, that I don't really care for right now. The outcome has already been decided. This is so good. This is so good. Let's be honest here. As you've seen from this trial, even I cannot control Monocrow. He's completely neutral in all of this. And for him to proclaim this outcome means you cannot run away from this. Run away? From what? Now then, with the class trial finished, we will now begin the finale. As stated in the school rules, everyone except the Blackened who won the class trial will be executed, and the Blackened will be able to escape this island. Executed? Really? Don't tell me you didn't see that coming. We executed so many people from these trials, so I'd assumed you'd know the drill by now. The only difference was the Blackened won this time. Mikado! What's gonna happen to me then? If I'm not the Blackened, and you're the real culprit, that means I'm an accomplice, right? Does that mean I get to live? Have you learned literally anything in your life? It's been said countless times accomplices gain nothing from murders. I'll repeat it for the final time. You're going to die, Iroha. Why? I did everything you told me to. I did my job. You said you wouldn't kill me. You said you'd let me live. Oh, would you just once in your life speak something meaningful? Even if you were the Blackened, you would still be killed. You were voted by these idiots, remember? If you had actually murdered someone with more perfection, maybe you'd actually have a chance of living this game. The execution of the spotless, who have lost the class trial, will now begin. What? No, please, wait. Mikado, do you even realize what you've done? You can't kill Yuki, can you? If he dies, then Master Utsuro won't be resurrected anymore. He definitely knew that, there's no way. So, some of yourself has returned to you. But this should be how it ends. This is the correct ending that I've planned for the killing school trip. What? Now then, I've prepared a special punishment for Sora, the ultimate Yuki Maeda, the ultimate lucky student, Yoruko Kabuya, the ultimate hostess, and Iroha Nijue, the ultimate artist, respectively.
No! I don't want to die! I want to live! A nightmare. This must be a bad dream.
Finally. My lifelong dream has finally come true. I've abandoned everything for this, and now I will be reborn. Mikado! Mikado! Sinoji! Commence the execution. Okay, I'm locked in, dude. I'm so locked in. This is gonna be so cool. No, my wife! No, my wife! Not the water. That's fucked. Iroha! Yuruko! Oh, not the canon one for Yuki. They crashed it! They crashed it! See, I knew we'd be fine. Pick up the phone. Hello? Really? I'd say it's a lot later than I expected. Right. Good to hear that. Keep things steady till I arrive. Oh, and... Never mind. It's nothing. See you later. Who was that? So the day has finally arrived. Saruki? Question mark? Oh my god, I was right. Let's get ready then. I was just throwing a guess out there. You good though, man? I mean, I want to see your adult design, but like, you got a little something in your eye there. To finish what happened back then.
Danganronpa.
Question mark? Wow, yes, I would like to save. Okay. Absolute craziness. Absolute insanity. Wow, Man, things to say, but I'll say them after we do the tier list. Okay. Golly. See, I know people are gonna want me to move Iroha, but like, my opinion of her still hasn't changed. I still kind of don't really like her. I'm sorry. She's probably gonna stay where she is. I'm sorry, but like, Mikado can't go any higher. I think everyone's probably gonna stay the same. Yeah, Shobai leaves her one trial and we lose. And we lose! Yeah, I think everyone's gonna stay where they are for now, if we're being honest. Nothing in this trial really changed my mind. Alright, so in that case, we'll move over to chatting. Wow. Okay, I gotta, like, decompress. Because I was kind of ready to complain a little bit about that trial, right? Because, and I still do, my overall opinion has gone from, like, not a fan to mixed opinion on this trial. Because, on the one hand... Oh, okay, thank you for the dono. No, Yuruko, you need to live! Also, we foreshadowed this twist with Barbie sucks at deduction. It's all because you'd fail the trial. In my defense, so did everybody else. Oh, thank you, though. But what was I gonna say? Okay. I think I have mixed opinions on this trial. Because, on the one hand... I do have logical issues with it. Like, I can't get over the bridge thing, I'm sorry. And, like, other little things I was pointing out here and there, which they could explain. I just don't think they explained some of it as much as they should have. The fact we completely glossed over how Taria actually died, and, like, the stabbing and all that stuff felt strange to me. It felt like part of this trial got cut, which is weird, because the Another series, especially this game in particular, has had really good cases. So I was just a little bit surprised. I was just a little bit surprised that this one faltered in some places. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Iroha being the culprit either, because like I said, it's not bad, I just thought she had more potential if she had like a more of an arc. But all of that, a lot of those complaints, maybe like half of those complaints, are walked back with the last like 20 minutes that we just went through. That was awesome. Genuinely. That was really great. I know I touched on it earlier because, I said this earlier, but what kind of I didn't care for about the ending of Chapter 4's trial was Mikado just completely, essentially breaking the rules, to get Nikkei executed. I think it's so much cooler when they do it within the confines of the rules, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't use his magic, he didn't use fuckery, he just poisoned it before her and gave her fake poison. It's so simple, but it's so good. It shows how good of a manipulator he is. And, like, the way he won the trial, fantastic. Really. Like, so much kudos for the last 20 minutes of the chapter or so, or however long it was. Maybe not even that, maybe 15 or 10, but... really great. I've heard people throw around the idea of, oh, what if a blackened wins a trial in a Fangen? And I'm glad they finally explored it. And this was probably the first one to do it too, because this was like the first big Fangen, at least the first, you know, mainstream one. So big kudos for that. So that walks back my complaint about Iroha. I still do have a couple of those logical issues that we talked about throughout the course of the stream. So that's where I'm kind of like mixed on the trial as a whole. I don't think the case itself was too great, especially by the standards of this game, but really pulled me back in those last 10 minutes. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it, at least. Non-triangle, thank you. Narni, please tell Hatman Mikado is going to lose. Well, I don't know. I don't really know, I guess. He is the bad guy, and in most stories, the bad guy, or the antagonist, does lose. I feel like, to some extent, he's definitely not gonna win. But we will see. We will see exactly how it goes down. We still have a good amount of game left. I'm sure Chapter 6 is gonna be pretty beefy, so... The chat seems to be pretty split on Mikado. Maybe I'll do a poll next time. Who's Team Mikado and who's Team, like, anti-Mikado. That'd be kind of fun. But, yeah, that's kind of where I sit on the trial. Yeah. So, let's see. We should be able to start Chapter 6 next week if all goes according to plan, but... I need to double check some things before I fully commit to that, but, you know, the schedule will be up around the usual time, like always, so we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited for the return of Tsurugi. I think he's a little, not doing too great, but... I'm sure, well, either way, it's gonna be entertaining. Let's put it that way. But anyway, let's thank our top chatters. We have a lot of people, let's see. Number 3, Gary Wilson. Number 2, Hatman. And number 1, Non-Triangle. Thank you guys very much. I will shout out Define Obsessed and Legion of Followers as well for being tied for 3rd. But, yeah, until next time, I think I stream again on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday for 100 Line. So, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week, a good start to their weekend. Thank you all very much for coming. I always appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!